Saturday, December the 4th, 1971, Neyland Stadium, Knoxville, Tennessee. In today's game, the undefeated and fifth-ranked Nittany Lions of Penn State, with the nation's leading scorer, Lydell Mitchell, battled the Liberty Bowl-bound Volunteers of Tennessee, featuring defensive stars Bobby Majors and Jackie Walker. College football today is brought to you by Money, Mutual of New York. Whether it's life or health insurance, individual or group, it's good to have money in your future. And by Nicholson File Company, makers of quality hand tools. You're looking at one of the few football stadiums in the world where the fans can come literally by boat. This is the Tennessee River. In the background, you see the city of Knoxville, and as we come into Neyland Stadium, you see nearly a sellout crowd on hand here today at the home of the Volunteers as they're whooping it up, getting ready for Tennessee's game with Penn State. And we certainly couldn't have a better, more perfect day for a wind-up of our regular season college football schedule. I'm Bill Fleming, along with Bud Wilkinson, welcoming you this final game in our regular schedule. And Bud, it's kind of unusual to come into the first week of December and have such a perfect day as this, and also to have two teams that already have been picked for bowl games.
Well, I think that adds to the incentive of both teams, Bill. Penn State wants to uphold the honor of the East and go into the Cotton Bowl undefeated. Volunteers of Tennessee, of course, want to uphold the honor of the Southeastern Conference. It should be a very interesting game, and particularly, I know fans around the country wonder just how good is Penn State. The combined record of Penn State's opponents is only 40 wins against 65 losses. But I think they're a very sound, solid football team. Tennessee's got one of the best defenses in the country, so we'll find out this afternoon, does Penn State deserve to be ranked 5 or maybe even number 1?
So the Nittany Lions come into this game trying to preserve the supremacy of Eastern football, and they really feel quite strongly about this. Undefeated, they have gone, as Bud mentioned, 15 games without a loss, and I think you're going to be surprised at the power that Penn State has here today. We'll be back to take a little more closely detailed look at the Nittany Lions in just a moment. For the past couple of years, Penn State has boasted certainly one of the greatest running attacks in college football. This year is no exception, with men like Lydell Mitchell and Franco Harris in that backfield, Bud.
Well, they operate a little differently than almost any team in football today because they play with two tight ends all of the time. They've been operating out of the I formation with Mitchell in that tailback position, which gives him a chance to carry the ball a great number of times. And Harris, their fullback, of course, is faster and bigger than Mitchell. He hasn't had the ball quite as much. Here we see the split screen of these two men. The basic offense of Penn State has been the sprint out by Huffnagel at quarterback and then dropping the ball off to Mitchell, who simply reads the blocking and, like all of great I-backs, runs for daylight along the line of scrimmage. It's a very tough pattern because if the defense is moving laterally to protect against Huffnagel going wide or on the pass run, there's always some daylight up inside, as again Mitchell finds here. On this one, as you noticed, he hit it off tackle, and if you watch him on the next one, it's the same play, and he'll hit it all the way back over the middle. You simply get the ball on this sprint out fake, read the defense, and you find that daylight.
And it should be mentioned that Penn State has one of the finest offensive lines in football today.
They also have thrown the ball very well. Huffnagel's completed 62%, and Mitchell, as you can see, is, in addition to being a great runner, a great pass receiver. Number 34, Harris, is another fine ball carrier, as I mentioned. Today, I think we'll see them in a little different formation because they've had 2 weeks to prepare for this game, with Mitchell and Harris perhaps alternating as they get the ball.
This is John Huffnagel, the quarterback on the keeper. He's never been in a game that he started where the team has lost, either at McKees Rocks in high school or at Penn State.
They're very alert athletes. If you'll watch this play, it's a toss back. He's down there trying to get in front to block. As the fumble occurs, he's right there to pick it up. And that's what you're looking for, the skill and speed and always following the ball on the part of the offensive team.
I think one of the interesting things about Huffnagel is that he does handle the ball so well that it is so deceptive for the defense to set for any of the upcoming plays.
Well, anytime you got Mitchell coming over the ball, you're going to freeze the defense. And this, of course, is the pattern that he uses so effectively. This is just a drop back here with Mitchell swinging to the outside to open it up over the middle. And Skarzinski, number 84, on a crossing pattern, was the receiver there.
He will not be starting today. He's a split end, and it's kind of an unusual formation.
Well, they're going to go some today with the two tight ends, as we mentioned earlier, Bill. And this, of course, is number 86, Bob Parsons, 6'3", 233, who was a quarterback and was switched to tight end this year by Joe Paterno. He's ideally suited physically. Anytime you can play quarterback, you've got the reflexes and physical skills to play any other position. Parsons has developed into a great blocker and a great receiver. Let's take another look at him as Huffnagel rolls out, and this again puts tremendous pressure. Anytime that quarterback is turned upfield as he throws the ball, somebody's going to be open.
And behind all of Penn State, of course, is the fact that there is the guiding hand of Coach Joe Paterno. Joe, right now, over the last 5 years, has the winningest record in the nation. He's a very interesting man to talk to. As a matter of fact, I think you'll find in today's terminology that most of the young people would call him a now kind of coach. Earlier, we talked to Joe, and here are some of his reflections.
I get a lot of questions these days about what's good and what's bad about college football, and I think most of the questions center around a couple of things. Number one, they want to know what's going on with college athletes and drugs. I think the insinuation there is that we have a lot of kids who are using drugs to get themselves ready to play football games. I don't think that's fair criticism. I think most of the kids today in college don't even fool around with drugs. I have had no experience whatsoever with any of our people participating with ups, downs, sideways, and leaners, and what have you. There's so many now that it's hard to keep track of them. The same thing goes with people who criticize so-called illegal payoffs for college athletes. I think the general public has gotten the idea that every other kid who plays on a good college football team is getting paid underneath the table and getting more than an NCAA grant and aid. Again, I think this is very, very unfair because I feel that most of the kids today don't even want to discuss illegal deals. In fact, I think we may find ourselves in a society where the kids today are more honest than any group we've ever had. However, I think there are some areas of college football that we have to justify, and we have to do a better job. And the one gripe I have right now is that I don't think enough of our people are graduating. The New York Times a couple of years ago did a survey on all of the college football players who were drafted by the pros. And I think they came out with a figure like 52 or 53%, and maybe lower than that, of these people who were drafted did not graduate from college. Now, that's a shame. We can't justify that. We cannot justify having kids come to good universities, great universities in most cases, play good football, and then at the end of 4 years leave without a diploma. I think we're cheating them. So I think the NCAA has to own up to this problem, and I think they can do several things about it. I think the best thing they can do, and the easiest and the quickest, would pass a national rule which would say that no kid, no young man could play as a sophomore unless he had passed a certain number of credits at the end of his freshman year. Same thing would hold true at the end of his sophomore year. He must have X number of credits before he's eligible to be a junior, and right on into his senior year. Now, what this would do, it would mean that everybody is making normal progress towards a degree, and they would all have a chance to graduate, or they wouldn't be eligible to play. So I think that's one area we can do a little better job. I think we can do a better job in recruiting. I think we have to be a little bit more considerate of the high school kids and maybe not get in there where we talk to them so long and so hard and so many times that they really don't make the best choice for themselves. I think we can do a better job in that. But other than these areas, I think college football today is in good shape. I think it's a better game, certainly, on the field. I think we have more young men who are completely dedicated to college football. I think we have better coaching. I think we have a better quality of people in the coaching business. I think everything looks good if we can just somehow make sure that we don't get carried away with the winning at any cost and lose sight of the fact that college football ought to be fun, ought to be a meaningful experience for the kids who come to your college and play, and it ought to be the kind of a game that people want to identify with. You know, on a Saturday afternoon, you go out to a stadium, and the girls and the cheerleaders and the color and the pageant and the excitement and everything else, and people want to identify with them. It's kind of like the medieval knights. You go out there and see these fine young men who are out there competing before all these people. No bars hold, just want to do it on their own, and it's a great experience. And I think that as long as we keep honest with our people and make it meaningful, it's great.
Those were the words of head coach Joe Paterno of Penn State. We'll be back in just a moment to talk now about Tennessee in this game between Penn State and Tennessee and Knoxville. The Blue Band of Penn State is here today, and you'll be hearing more from them at halftime. One of the outstanding runners in the Southeastern Conference is Kurt Watson of Tennessee. Unfortunately for the Volunteers, he's injured. He will not play today. Now the question is, Bud Wilkinson, how is that going to affect the Volunteers' offense?
Well, their offense has been rather inconsistent all year, Bill, but Chansey and Rudder, who will be playing tailback and fullback for them, I think are excellent sophomores, and at this time in the season, sophomores are very mature people. So I think the running attack will be fine, but basically they've also got to throw the ball if they're going to be in the game. This is the type of running that we will see today. This was just a quick toss, play out to Chansey, number 41. But watching these next few plays, how the quarterback always fakes a pass before the running play. He raises up, and this is just a quick handoff down the middle to Chansey. And they run the same type of play, of course, from split backs to Rudder, number 36. And he's a big kid, 210. Strong, and as I said, has developed a great deal of experience. Once again, watch the pass fake. A little bit of a draw. There's nothing operating along the line of scrimmage. The quarterback's going back to fake pass to get the defense to raise up to set up the blocks for the Tennessee line.
One interesting fact about the quarterback today, Maxwell, is that he was a fourth stringer when Tennessee played Auburn in one of our earlier games. Pierce, Chadwick, and Howard were ahead of him. And now, all of a sudden, he has emerged here in this final season game as the number one quarterback.
They have not lost since he became their starting quarterback. He's 6'3", 185 pounds. And as you can see, he drills the ball. It's not in the air very long. When you're throwing any kind of an inside pattern, as he did there to Thompson, you've got to line the ball. This is another one to Leach, number 84. They'll use the play-action passes a great deal in addition to the dropbacks. This is a pass Maxwell to Thyler. And once again, just a straight drop back, which is a long yardage pattern for Tennessee. But this boy does throw the ball exceptionally well, Bill.
As has been the case down through the years, even dating back to General Bob Neyland, Tennessee has always been noted for defense. And a young man who really leads the defensive corps is Jackie Walker. Just watch him in action. We have a sequence of plays here where he truly is spectacular. 3 interceptions and then a play that truly is sensational.
Bill Battles, the Tennessee coach, says that Walker just kind of sifts around in that secondary. He doesn't take anybody on, but he sifts through them on the running plays, and then he's got that perfect timing to move in on these interceptions. And once he gets it, you can see his athletic skill as he runs down the field like a halfback. This next one is a perfect play for a linebacker. Watch him kind of sneak out into the seam. There's a receiver, and he comes to that cutoff point, and baby, that's home free. This next play is one of the most interesting I've seen because it gives you an idea of how fast Walker's hands are. We talk about that when we're talking about offensive receivers all of the time. This is a defensive linebacker, and this is the option play. And watch Walker as he comes in here. Zippo.
And he plucks the ball off in midair and goes all the way for the score. So as we analyze the offense and defense of Tennessee and the defense and offense of Penn State, we come down to the final point, the keys to victory.
Well, I believe, Phil, first down when Penn State has the ball is going to be the key to a Tennessee upset. Penn State, being a running team, would like to average 5 or 6 yards on first down because that puts so much pressure on the defensive team. If Penn State is not able to do that, if Tennessee can shut them off and bring them in there second down and 10, second down and 9, that'll change the whole pattern of the game. So the first thing we need to watch for, the key to victory for Tennessee, the upset, is how well they play defense on first down, and then also how well do they hit their passes. The percentage of passes they hit will open up the running attack, so those will be the 2 things that we'll keep track of as we go along.
All right, the name of Majors is very important here at Tennessee, and in just a moment we'll talk just a little bit about number 44, Bobby Majors. And as we get close to game time, we'll be back in just a moment with the Penn State-Tennessee game here in Knoxville. Now on the field, the University of Tennessee Band will play our national anthem. Dr. James Dunlop, the band director of Penn State, leading the Tennessee band in our national anthem. The name of Majors is a big name here in Tennessee. It has been ever since 1953, when Johnny Majors was a great star. As a matter of fact, he was second in the Heisman Trophy balloting in 1956. Then came Billy, who was a safety man in the great team of 1960. And then now Bobby Majors, who is also in the defensive secondary, one of the outstanding players in college football. He's a senior winding up his regular career here today. And Mr. and Mrs. Majors are here. Perhaps you remember the fact that Billy Majors was tragically killed in an automobile accident back in '65. This big block M on the middle of the field, significant, of course, for the Majors family, who for 18 years have had something to do with Tennessee football. And there you see Bobby on the left. Also on the field will be Mr. and Mrs. Majors, son John, son Joe, son Larry, and Mrs. Lenny Tunnell, who was the wife of the late Bill Majors. We don't have to add much to that. You get an idea of just what great favorites the Major family has been to all fans of Tennessee football. So this jersey, number 44, replicas of the jersey, will be awarded to the family in recognition of the tremendous service that the Majors have given, and who knows, maybe some little Majors will be coming along soon, a third generation. From Neyland Stadium in Knoxville, Tennessee, this has been College Football Today. This is Bill Fleming, along with Bud Wilkinson, inviting you to stay tuned now for NCAA College Football. Today's game featuring the battle between Penn State and Tennessee.
Pete believes he's a target for murder on the Mod Squad Tuesday night.
NCAA Football 1971, another exclusive presentation of ABC Sports. NCAA football. Today's game features the Nittany Lions of Penn State, undefeated and ranked 5th in the nation, against the Volunteers of Tennessee. This ABC Sports exclusive is being brought to you live and in color by State Farm Mutual. Almost anywhere you drive, there's a State Farm agent nearby. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. By Texaco and the many thousands of Texaco retailers and distributors in all 50 states. Trust Texaco to have the right gasoline for your car. By General Motors and the people who make Chevrolet, Pontiac, Oldsmobile, Buick, Cadillac, Opel, and GMC trucks. The cars and trucks with the GM mark of excellence. And by Tudor, makers of NFL electric football and NFL strategy. After a day of cold, miserable weather here in Knoxville, Tennessee, it is bright, crisp, as today the Volunteers of Tennessee are hosting the hottest team in the East. That's right, Penn State, the Nittany Lions from State College, Pennsylvania, have not been defeated in 15 straight games. They're noted for their winning streaks. They're coached by Joe Paterno. They have a record of 10-0 this year. We have Tennessee, the Volunteers, defeated only twice this year, 1 point by Auburn and again by Alabama. Bud Wilkinson is here. Bill Battle, the Tennessee coach, at one time was on Bud's staff at Oklahoma, and Bud has been a great friend of Joe Paterno, as I have for many, many years. And Bud, it's most unusual to have two such young, bright coaches heading major schools.
Well, both of them, Chris, I think are the people who carry on the college football tradition. They've been the great coaches. You go down through the years, Rockney, Lou Little, and I won't take time to list all the rest of them, but these records are just unreal. Bill Battles is 19-3 in his 2 seasons. Joe Paterno is 52 victories, 10 losses, and 1 tie. They play great offense, great defense, and more important, they utilize the material extremely well. Parsons was a quarterback. He's now a tight end for Penn State, for example.
They also do a great job in instilling leadership, not only the quarterbacks, these two coaches in particular, because their philosophy of young people and their contribution that's necessary in the future. That's why I have such high respect for both of them.
Their teams are going to be very exciting to watch also. Penn State has got a very powerful running attack. They've had 2 weeks to get ready for this game, and they're going to have a new offensive wrinkle. Instead of being in the I formation, we expect to see them in the wing T some this afternoon, which will give them very powerful blocking on the corner position and will cause Penn State to adjust the defense and play in a little bit unusual positions. And it will be very interesting to see how they make the adjustment and how successful this Penn State change is going to be against one of the best defensive teams in the country. Tennessee has given up only more than 1 touchdown 1 time, and that was against Alabama.
First meeting between Penn State and Tennessee ever. 55 degrees. The sun is shining, and it's shining on our colleague, Bill Fleming.
Ladies and gentlemen, Penn State today will introduce their senior starters. The defensive tackle from Northport, New York, number 79, Frank Aaronhold. Linebacker from Levittown, Pennsylvania, number 30, Gary Gray. Linebacker from Philadelphia, number 60, defensive captain Charlie Zapek. Defensive halfback from Akron, Ohio, number 20, Chuck Mesco. And center from Millersburg, Pennsylvania, number 59, Mike Botts. Guard from Penn, PA, number 64, Bob Connectal. And tight end from Wynn Gap, PA, number 86, Bob Parsons. Flanker from Towanda, Pennsylvania, number 48, Glenn Cole. Fullback from Mount Holly, New Jersey, number 34, Franco Harris. Halfback from Salem, New Jersey, number 23, Lydell Mitchell. Tackle from State College, Pennsylvania, number 70, offensive captain Dave Joyner. And the head coach of the Nittany Lions, Joe Paterno. Good luck, Coach.
Thank you very much. Hope we have a great game.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, the lineups for Tennessee. This is the offensive team. At split end from Savannah, Tennessee, number 90, Joe Thompson. At left tackle from Brownsville, Tennessee, number 73, Galen Hill. Left guard from Winchester, number 65, Phil Fulmer. At center from Cleveland, Tennessee, number 53, Tom Johnson. At right guard from Cleveland, Tennessee, number 64, Bill Emmendorfer. Right tackle from Clarksville, number 76, Joe Balthrop. At tight end from Louisville, Kentucky, number 20, Gary Thaler. At quarterback from Nashville, number 16, Jim Maxwell. At tailback from Winchester, Tennessee, number 36, Bill Rudder. At wingback from Nashville, number 43, George Silvey. At fullback from Knoxville, number 41, Steve Chansey. Injured today and who will not play, from Crossville, Kurt Watson. And the head coach of the Volunteers, Bill Battle. Good luck, Coach. So those are the lineups. Now back to Chris and Bud in our television booth.
The pregame activities have been concluded. We'll be back for the opening kickoff here at Neyland Stadium in Knoxville, Tennessee. On the far side of the field,
All right,
the
y'all
Nittany
ready?
Lions, undefeated in 15 straight games. They have a victory skein of 10 this year. They're bound for the Cotton Bowl to play the Texas Longhorns. While on the near side of the field, in the orange jerseys, the Tennessee Volunteers, 8-2 this year. There are 16 seniors headed toward the center of the field who have helped the Volunteers to 3 bowl games and a record of 28 wins and 5 losses. Penn State, number 70, Dave Joyner, and number 60, Charlie Zapek are the co-captains. And let's join the referee, Charlie Bowen.
Captain Joyner, Captain Fulmer, Captain Zapek, and Joyner, Captain Fowler, Captain Captains, these are my fellow officials for today. Your back judge, Mr. Billy Tees. Your field judge, Mr. Frank Keyhole. Your head lineman, Mr. Bobby Gaston. Your electric clock operator, Mr. Boyd Smith. Your umpire, Mr. Foster Groves. Penn State, that's tails, that's heads. While it's in the air, if I fail to catch it, I'll reflip it. If I don't catch it, are you ready? You call heads, Captain, it is tails. Tennessee, you win the toss. You receive. You must kick, but you put your... Tennessee winning the toss.
So it'll be Tennessee in the orange jerseys, if you're watching in color, that will be receiving the kick as the wind is blowing in from the far side of the field or from an easterly direction at about 5 miles an hour. And as we indicated earlier, the temperature is 55 degrees. And here we look at the Tennessee offensive line. The ends are Joe Thompson, number 90, and the tight end, number 20, Gary Thaler. Tom Johnson is the offensive center with Emmendorfer, Fulmer the tackles, Hill and Balthrop rather the tackles, and Fuller and Emmendorfer the guards. Emmendorfer a standout player, number 64. While in the backfield, at quarterback, it'll be senior Jim Maxwell from Nashville, and Steve Chansey, Bill Rudder, the fullback, and the wingback will be George Silvey. Kicking off for Penn State will be Alberto Vitiello. There he is, only 5 feet 7 inches tall, wears a big number 37 on the white jersey, and if you're watching, of course, the Nittany Lion blue. And it'll be Penn State putting their perfect record on the line against Tennessee. The Volunteers hoping to be the spoilers this afternoon is Bobby Majors, number 44, and 41, Steve Chansey are deep. Chansey to the far side of the field. Majors, one of the great kick returners in the country. Great athlete, number 44. Over 60,000, the 7th consecutive home game that the crowd has exceeded over 60. And the side boot now is going right down the middle of the field. It's taken by number 44, Bobby Majors, out to the 15. Oh, he found a hole. He comes out to the 30. He's got it one-on-one. But with his juking and moving, his speed was not quite great enough and was brought down by number 22, John Capoletti. Also, Jim Scott was the first one to hit him.
Beautiful blocking by the Tennessee line. They used that cross block up the middle, and you can see the great hole that Majors had. He broke absolutely into the clear except for the safety man. Penn State in a good pattern to keep him from going all the way.
A 57-yard opening kickoff return at the 40 of Penn State. The ball goes quickly out to Bill Rudder, the fullback, trying to get outside, and the lateral movement of the Penn State defense, which is pretty super. They're a classic group of guys, as Greg Duquette of Keesonville, New York, makes the tackle. But
the Penn State defense is a 4-4, and they only use 3 men in the deep secondary. Tennessee hopes to stretch that 3 deep today. Most teams have an option of going to 4 deep if they're getting 3 wide receivers. Penn State does not like to do that. We'll see wide receivers, and perhaps 3 of them many of the time from Tennessee.
Charlie Zapak, number 60 you're looking at, was limping as we get a first pass of the ball game. From the 37, it is out of bounds at about the 29. Joe Thompson from Savannah, Tennessee, forced out by Buddy Ellis. There's Thompson, a 6-footer, who this year has caught 12 passes, 1 for a touchdown.
And you can see Thompson running the quick out against Ellis. Bill Battles, the Tennessee coach, thought that the halfbacks for Penn State played a little bit deep, and that they gave a little bit more room in front than perhaps they could afford to give, and they'll go with those quick outs quite a bit at a time.
George Silvey to the far side of the field, first down from the 29. Tennessee with the ball. Nice poise. Oops. It was one leg in bounds. There you go. Good job by Joe Thompson. 2 for 2. Maxwell, as Zapak, whom we said was limping around, forced him out of bounds.
This is Thompson again, running the simple square out. Let's watch his feet. And I guess he had that 1 foot inside the line. In college football, that's all you need. In pro football, you need to have both of them in.
All right. Back-to-back first downs on 2 passes. Going to the far side of the field, Gary Filer's the split end from the 18-yard line of Penn State. Tennessee with the ball. Good call on the play. Carrying to the 14, Steve Chansey, the sophomore, number 41 from Knoxville. Jim Heller underneath, number 72, in on the tackle for the Nittany Lions. No score in the ball game. If you just joined us, the opening kickoff was returned by one of the famous Majors in college football, Bobby Majors, 57 yards, that set Tennessee up at the 40-yard line of Penn State. Now they have a 2nd down and 7 coming up at about the 15-yard line. Silvey to the far side. And Chansey pulls in a Maxwell pass as Mesko, Chuck Mesko, number 20 from Akron, Ohio, made the stop. So Maxwell is finding the target. He is 3 for 3.
Very short patterns, all of them. Bannon put a great rush on Maxwell that time, but he stood in there very firmly, delivered a perfect pass, even though he received quite a blow. As you look at the comparison per game of offensive output, clearly in Penn State's favor.
They need 4 yards for a first down on 3rd down from the 12-yard line of Penn State. No score. Tennessee with the ball. Whoops. Uh-oh. So the Tennessee hopes throttled right here as Scorpan was in on George Silvey. Silvey on the fumble. Scorpan recovers it. So Penn State takes over. Now we'll look at an offense. They're a classy group, colorful as well. A team that has scored over 44 points per game. They can do a lot of things, Bud, including rushing and passing.
And that was a 3-point fumble. George Hunt, number 9, a Tennessee field goal kicker, is one of the best in the country. I believe he could have put the 3 points on the board.
From the 21 of Penn State, first down. Hufnagel handing off to Franco Harris from Mount Holly, New Jersey, number 34. And he'll be carrying the ball a lot today, at least in the pregame plans by Joe Paterno. There you see Bob Parsons, 86. Bob Rickenbacker, number 40, is the tight end, with Joyner, who is an academic All-American as well as a football All-American. Hufnagel, Lydell Mitchell, Franco Harris, and Glenn Cole with the ball at the 24 now. It's second down and 7. Cole is set to the far side of the field from the I. Whistles blowing as flags are down as Lydell Mitchell got the ball, number 23.
Well, we were talking before the game, Chris, would these two teams be up for this one, both having clinched bowl bids? I think it's very apparent that they really are. Penn State too anxious, jumping offside, illegal procedure.
So it's 5 yards. The down remains the same. It'll be second down and 12 as the ball is put back at the 19-yard line of Penn State. No score in the game. 12 minutes, 15 seconds to go in the first quarter. All this from Knoxville, Tennessee. Over 60,000 fans watching now. Going to the far side, we have Bob Rickenbacker and Glenn Cole, 40 and 48. The near back, Franco Harris. Stopped right at the line of scrimmage by Conrad Graham. There's 34 in white, that's Harris, and Jamie Rotella, number 57.
Tennessee has pioneered a new type of defense. They've taken the basic 5-2-4 pattern and then dropped the middle guard, in this case Ray Nettles, number 58, back off the line of scrimmage. So there are 3 free linebackers. That gives you a tremendous variety of stunts by those 3 men. Difficult for the offensive line to pick up.
Of course, you saw that the Tennessee defense is pretty tough. 3rd and 11 for Penn State from the 20. Brings up a 4th down now. Lydell Mitchell, a record breaker. 3 NCAA records, 12 Penn State records. He is stopped. They are short of a first down with the ball at the 22. It brings up a 4th down and 9. And Bobby Majors, number 44, the Majors family, honored just before the kickoff. And perhaps you saw it on College Football Today, our pregame show. And they have contributed so much to the football interest in the state of Tennessee. Bob Parsons, former quarterback, now an end, will punt. Fair catch called for by Bobby Majors at his own 40-yard line. So, after a fumble, Penn State was only able to move the ball 1 yard and forced the punt on 4th down. That punt went 38 yards. A timeout at Neyland Stadium in Knoxville. The score, Penn State nothing, Tennessee nothing. After a fine defensive effort by Tennessee, the punt went to the Volunteers. Now they have a 1st and 10 at the Tennessee 40. Maxwell is the quarterback, number 16. Fakes it to the deep back, pitches out. He is 4 for 4, and as you see, nearly enough for a first down, coming up near the midfield stripe. Chancey, number 41, pulling it in as we look at Smokey, the blue-tick coonhound, the mascot of the Volunteers. Finally, the defense, Bud, for Penn State, Fannin, Aaron Hold, and Heller, and Lasovek are up front. The linebackers are Zapak, Hull, and Gray. Deep, Ellis, Scorpan, Duquette, and Mesco. 2nd down and 1. First down for the Volunteers. Bill Rudder, the sophomore fullback from Winchester, Tennessee, makes the yardage, Bud.
Penn State going out of their 4-4 into the 6-1 defense, but they hit it right straight up the middle very well. Let's take a look at number 30, Gray, the middle linebacker who had jumped into the line, fighting off the block of Fulmer, moving in to make the tackle. A very fine defensive play.
There's a defense that shut out Army and Syracuse. Now they're going against Tennessee. From the 46 of Penn State, first down. Pass overthrown, intended for number 20, Gary Thyler from Louisville, Kentucky. 2nd down and 10 coming up. No score in the game. 9:51 to go, first quarter. There you see the comparative scores and the opponents. Tennessee amassing over 22 points a game. They have allowed only 97 in 10 games, their defensive unit, Bud.
And the only team to score more than 1 touchdown against them, Alabama, with those 32 points.
And only Alabama has scored against the Tennessee defense in the first quarter. Here's a 2nd and 10. Ooh, looking back into the sun. Had a great deal to do with Steve Chancey not being able to hang on. 3rd and 10 for Tennessee.
And the pass-run ratio of the Tennessee battle plan for today is becoming quite apparent. They've thrown 6 passes. They've only run the ball 4 times.
Penn State defense on the left. They have allowed only 2 touchdowns rushing, 10 touchdowns passing. Here's a 3rd and 10 passing situation. Great catch. Gary Filer. Wow.
And, Chris, that's what I was talking about, stretching those 3 deep. They have 3 wide receivers. That makes 3 deep cover the entire field. Let's watch Styler on the isolated camera. He's a flex end. Here he comes off the line of scrimmage. And he's running that post pattern, breaking past Gray into the middle. There's a lot of real estate out there for 3 men to cover. They knew the pass was coming. Great catch.
A slot I formation from the 31 of Penn State. First down, Tennessee. No score. Carrying on the play was Bill Rudder, and as you saw in the introductions by Bill Fleming, an all-time Tennessee ball carrier, Kurt Watson, the senior fullback from Crossville, Tennessee, injured, was not even suited up, and it's too bad you couldn't see him play today because he's had a great career here. Jim Heller on the tackle. Tennessee's record the last 3 years under Bill Battle, 28 wins, 5 losses. Doug Dickey, of course, was included in 1 year. Battle 2 of those 3 years. And a tremendous loss tacked on by Penn State defense, including number 72, Jim Heller. Lasovic also in on the play, number 47, and the other defensive end, number 83, Bruce Bannon.
And as the game progresses, if Tennessee continues with the number of passes, it's going to be a guessing contest between when will Penn State put on the big rush as they did that time, pouring in with 7 men, and when will they drop off to cover.
Maxwell now has thrown 7 times, completing 5. 3rd down and 20 from the 41. Steve Chansey, number 41, getting to the 36, a 5-yard gain. Bruce Bannon was there along with number 30, Gary Gray. George Hunt, number 9, comes into the Tennessee lineup. He has kicked 11 of 12 field goals. To show how accurate he is in all departments, he has 56 straight extra point conversions. He's a native of Clearwater, Florida. He's a senior, 6'1", 215 pounds, and he's going to need everything he has. 53-yard attempt from the 43 plus the 10 of the end zone. When we were last here, Tennessee playing Auburn, he did kick a 50-yard field goal, but he was short on this 53-yarder. As ABC and the NCAA combine to bring you the thrills of college football. With timeout to score. Penn State nothing, Tennessee nothing. Tennessee's 6th in scoring defense has controlled the ball 5.5 minutes. Penn State 1 minute and 59 seconds. The Nittany Lions have it now at their own 20, following a missed 53-yard field goal by George Hunt with a first down. Hufnagel. A loose ball, Mitchell. Lydell Mitchell on the pitch. Recovered his own fumble. Quickly in on the play was number 59, Carl Johnson, a defensive end.
A new formation for Penn State in this game. They're in the wing T. Mitchell, Harris leading in. There's the toss back. It appears to be a very good one, but Mitchell took his eye off the ball, bobbled the ball. They really had the play set up. The double team block of Rickenback and Parsons, who was shifted over to wingback, was most effective on the play.
Lydell Mitchell, who has scored 28 touchdowns this year, 2nd and 17. And Lydell, number 23 from Salem, New Jersey, carried on the play. One of the tacklers on the play, Rotella, and Jackie Walker, one of the 2 All-Americans on the Tennessee team, the other being Bobby Majors, while for Penn State, Dave Joyner, an offensive tackle. Number 70, he's the right tackle as he comes up to the line now. And Lydell Mitchell, the other All-American. We have a 3rd down and 9. Hufnagel faking it to Mitchell, taking it outside.
And that's the basic play in the Penn State offense. The fake to Mitchell and Hufnagel keeping the ball on the option to pass run, or on that same starting pattern, dropping it off to Mitchell as he finds daylight along the line of scrimmage. It's a very tough combination.
Now Penn State with a 4th down coming up, 4th down and 4 from their own 26. After a Ray Nettles tackle, they'll have to punt. Bob Parsons from Wind Gap, Pennsylvania, number 86. There's Bobby Majors awaiting Parsons' punt. No score in the game. About 6 minutes to go, first quarter. Beautifully kicked. Majors calling for a fair catch at his own 35. 39-yard punt by Bob Parsons of Penn State. $5 can go a long way. That's right, all the way to Munich, Germany, the site of the 1972 Olympic Games. You undoubtedly know that America's finest young athletes are now competing for a place on our Olympic team, but it takes a lot of money to put them in this world competition. You can help. Here's how. Send $5 today to Olympic House, Box BA, 57 Park Avenue, New York, New York. From the 35, Tennessee. No score in the game. First down. What a wall Bill Rudder ran into.
Unusual set, putting both wide receivers, the split end and the slot back inside to the narrow side of the field.
One of the tacklers, or one of the men that stopped Rudder, was Tom Hull, a sophomore from Uniontown, Pennsylvania. He's a middle linebacker. A 3-yard gain, however, to 38, so it'll be second down and 7. Coming up to the 5-minute mark, first quarter, no score. Good call. Chancey gives it the third effort and gets to the Penn State 30. Tom Hull on the tackle.
And a great job of checking signals by Maxwell. He saw Penn State ready to give it that big rush that was effective to trap Maxwell on the last possession. As they gave it that rush and he broke past the rushing men, he was in the clear.
31 yards by Steve Chancey, the sophomore, his hometown right here in Knoxville. So from the Penn State 31, first and 10, Tennessee. 5 minutes, first quarter, no score. Thompson to the near side of the field. Thompson coming back, the ball is deflected, however, and almost pulled down. Number 81, John Scorpan, who earlier recovered a Tennessee fumble, nearly had it as Jim Heller deflected the pass.
The momentum offensively has been on Tennessee's side thus far. They've had 2 good chances to score. Here they are with the third one, and if they don't put some points on the board this time, it's liable to take a little of the edge off the high incentive of their offensive team.
They're averaging 22 points a game. 18 touchdowns rushing, only 3 touchdowns passing this year. Second and 10 from the 31. A marker down, interference coming up at about the 6-yard line. It's going to be offensive interference, it appears. Joe Thompson, a little eager, number 90.
Let's take a look at him. Here he comes down the field. And a little bit of a collision there with the Penn State safety man and the defensive corner man, both coming over to hit him, but the referee ruled that he had bounced both of them back.
Well, that was a different call, I'll have to say. Let's
take a look at it again. Mesco and DeCotte are the 2 Penn State men who come across, and see if we can see whether Thompson pushes both of them here. And it appears to me that he really had running room. He's unable to take his course, but the referee saw it differently. He was behind the play.
So it's third down and 25 for Tennessee. And their third opportunity to get some points on the board halted as a result of a penalty as Rudder carried on the play. Frank Aaronhold, a senior from Northport, New York, made the tackle. Let's see that last call again.
This is Thompson coming down the field. DeCotte, the safety man, will come over, as does Chuck Mesco. And Thompson is entitled to run his course, and it appears to me here that the 2 Penn State people cut across in front of him and keep him from running his course. The official who called it was at the bottom of your screen.
Bobby Major's punt is high in the air. Going out of bounds. It may be a very effective one. Bobby Majors, the All-American from Sewanee, Tennessee. Only a 32-yard punt, but it went out of bounds at approximately the 8. Timeout here at Neyland Stadium in Knoxville. The score, Penn State nothing, Tennessee nothing. We had an offensive interference call against Tennessee a little earlier, and we'd like to play it once more for you.
This is Thompson trying to break between Paquette and Mesco, and they cut him off so that he's not able to get between them. And you can see now why the official at the bottom of the screen called the play, because as he sees it right here, it looks as though Thompson is pushing both of them. Actually, he was sort of cut off at the pass.
From the 7-yard line, following a Bobby Majors punt, it's 1st and 10 for Penn State. And one of the powers of the nation's football majors, Penn State, Slidell Mitchell, number 23, carrying on the play. Jackie Walker, the All-American linebacker, on the tackle. Thus far, Penn State has 14 total yards, no first downs, and we have 3 minutes and 18 seconds remaining in the first quarter.
They've also had miserable field position on the exchange, the 21, the 20, and their own 8.
2nd down and 8 now from the 9. The deep back, Slidell Mitchell.
We were talking before the game about first down for Penn State on offense being one of the keys to victory. The first down snaps thus far, Penn State made 4, they lost 7, and they made 2. So Tennessee's doing a good job of shutting them off on first down to give them that long yardage coming up on second.
Rickenback is in the lineup now, number 40 for Penn State, as they have a 3rd down and 7. Glenn Cole is set to the near side, number 48. From the I, Huffnagel, a good one. Completing it to Bob Parsons across the 20. And there's the initial first down for the Nittany Lions. David Allen forcing number 86, Bob Parsons, out of bounds.
And one of the toughest passes in football to cover, rolling away from the receiver, who then runs a down and out pattern away from the fake. It's also very dangerous if the halfback comes up to pick it off. Why, it's 6 points.
So now from the 24-yard line, first down, Penn State in the white uniform. Mitchell spun down at about the 27, a gain of 3. 57 getting up on the play, Rotella, and John Wagster, number 67, the defensive right tackle, and Ray Nettles, 58. There you look at Huffnagel, number 16, who is undefeated as a high school quarterback and as a quarterback at Penn State. 15 straight with John directing the attack. 2nd down and 6. Franco Harris, first down and in Tennessee territory for the first time.
Harris is 6'3", 225. He's got remarkable speed for a big man. Watch him as he breaks outside. This is Majors coming up, and he just gave him that old stiff arm, broke right past him.
613 yards coming into this game. Senior Franco Harris from the 49 of Tennessee. First down, Penn State. And there he is again. Franco Harris, a great career at State College, Pennsylvania. He stopped this time after getting the first down by Conrad Graham. Harris, who is number 4 for a career total of yards behind Mitchell, Lenny Moore, and Charlie Pittman. There you see Mitchell, number 23.
The Penn State offensive line has been the key to their great offense this season. They're big, strong, and they've got great takeoff as the ball is snapped. Watch them as they kick out.
Minute 25 to go. No score here in the first quarter. From the 37, first down. There's Liddell. Liddell to about the 23-yard line for a 14-yard gain, and another first down as Eddie Brown makes the tackle.
And Bob Parsons doing a magnificent job. The boy who played quarterback last year, who's been switched to tight end, number 86, he's really rolling them up.
4 consecutive first downs by undefeated Penn State. All-time NCAA single-season scorer, Liddell Mitchell. He has 2 other NCAA records. Now from the 24, 1st and 10, as quarterback John Huffnagel from McKees Rocks, Pennsylvania, asked the referee to get a little less noise here in Neyland Stadium, where they love their football.
He's made the point several times, Chris, but the only advantage the offense really has over the defense is knowing when the ball is going to be snapped, and if you can't hear the quarterback call that snap count, you lose that advantage. The defense gets to use their hands and arms. The offense does not, so that's really where the margin of balance is between the offense and defense. You've got to be able to hear the quarterback call a snap count.
A wing to this side of the field, setbacks, and the split far side end from the 24. The Tennessee defense converges on Franco Harris. And the defense includes John Wagster, number 67, Rotella, number 57. For Tennessee defensively now, it's Lambert, 82, Howell, 83, 52 Walker, 58 Nettles, 57 Rotella, 67 Wagster, 59 Johnson, 44 Majors, 37 Conrad, 25 Brown, and 13 David Allen. 2nd and 9. Loose ball and intercepted by Conrad Graham. He's got a blocker with him. Mitchell trying to catch him. Mitchell won't get at him. And it is a Tennessee touchdown. There is a very tired ball carrier, Conrad Graham from Winston-Salem, North Carolina, as the Tennessee fans go wild. Wagster and Rotella helped force that fumble. 76 yards, Tennessee leads. George Hunt's try for the point is good. Time had expired, but that was a continuing play, the point after attempt. So at the end of the first quarter, the score, the Tennessee Volunteers, underdogs, 7, Penn State, nothing.
After 21 years of coaching college football, Penn State's Joe Paterno still finds the most exciting aspect of his job is the daily work with young men. In 2 weeks, Joe will be 45 years old, but there is no generation gap. He cares deeply about young people and drug abuse. Let's listen.
I'm Joe Paterno, the football coach at Penn State University. At Penn State, we're looking for players who have mental and physical courage, people who can stand on their own 2 feet, people who have the initiative to go out before 40 or 50,000 people and not need anything else but their own ability, their own confidence, their own willingness to win. These people don't need drugs. They're not hooked on anything but life and athletics and enthusiasm. These are the kind of people that are going to make something of themselves later on in life. Why don't you be one of those? Why don't you not make up your mind you're going to be something? You don't need drugs to be something. Your life is great. You've got a great future ahead of you. Don't take chances with it by fooling around with drugs because other people do it. You do what's best for you, and that best thing for you is to eliminate drugs from your life right now.
John Capoletti, Ed O'Neill, and Chuck Hurd await Tennessee's kick following a 76-yard return of an intercepted fumble for a score. This is the first play of the second quarter, and another Penn State fumble. We still haven't seen the official's designation.
Yeah, we have, Chris. He said it was down.
All right. Let's see the intercepted fumble and the 76-yard run by Graham. Jackie Walker, 52, forced it.
He's only 6 feet, 200 pounds, one of the great linebackers in college football. Watch him knock the ball loose here as he moves into Huffnagel. There goes the ball in the air. Conrad Graham coming up from his corner position, picks it off. Everybody from Penn State, with the exception of Mitchell, was downfield, and he took it 76 yards for the touchdown.
Garzinski set to the near side as the play stays on the ground from the 29. Franco Harris, or good yardage on the play. Carl Johnson, one of the Tennessee tacklers, at the 34-yard line.
Penn State had all the best of the statistics until that last, Tennessee had until that last Penn State drive, but they still lead it a little bit. 82 total yards for Tennessee against 70 for Penn State. Time of possession slightly in favor of Tennessee.
Actually, Penn State went 71 yards before the interception. And now Huffnagel finds the target. Scott Skarzinski of South River, New Jersey, number 84. First down at the 43. Nine-yard gain in the backfield for Penn State. 34 Harris, 48 Cole, 23 Mitchell, 84 Skarzinski at end, along with Parsons, number 86. Slot formation, far side. Wow.
And Penn State has changed their offensive pattern. They've been operating with 2 tight ends most of the season, being 7 points behind, and also the quickness of the Tennessee defense has caused them to spread their offensive formation. They're going with Skarzinski as a split end and Cole as a flanker back, 2 wide receivers out to stretch the Tennessee defense.
There you saw the ability of Lydell Mitchell, who carries the ball 7 yards right at midfield, where Penn State now, just in Tennessee territory, has a 2nd down and 3. John Huffnagel, the quarterback. Franco Harris coming outside to about the 44. Good run and a 1st down, as Harris now has carried the ball 7 times for 52 yards. Danny Jeffries on the tackle. You just joined us. Tennessee is in the lead, 7-0, on a 76-yard return of an intercepted fumble by Conrad Graham. 13:20 to go, 2nd quarter. Huffnagel, receivers covered, off he goes. Notice what a fine football player, Harris, number 34, saw that Huffnagel was in trouble, and came out to try and help as Graham makes the tackle.
On the first 2 possessions for Penn State, Tennessee did a great job of shutting them off on 1st down, but since that time they've made 12 yards, held for 2 once, and then 5, 7, and 6. And when they're able to pick up that much yardage on 1st down, they give the defense trouble.
Huffnagel, 16 at quarterback. He is a junior who has completed 62.6% of his passes. Markers down as Mitchell carries. Needed 3 for the 1st down. But let's watch the penalty coming up. There you see Harris, number 34, down on 1 knee. 52 on the left in the orange jersey. That's All-American linebacker Jackie Walker. Rotella made that last tackle. Referee Charles Bowen stepping off 5 yards against the Nittany Lions. Here's the signal. That is an illegal shift or motion.
2nd time they've had it.
So it'll be 2nd down and 8 now with 12 minutes, 37 seconds to go in the 1st half. Both bands are here, the blue band of Penn State and the Pride of the Southland band with a lot of pretty girls from the University of Tennessee. On top was number 57, Jimmy Rotella, on Franco Harris, number 34. Harris being helped up there by number 40, Bob Rickenback from Audubon, New Jersey. And with the ball at the 40, it is a 3rd down and 4. Here comes Cole at the bottom of your screen, number 48, the senior from Towanda, Pennsylvania. 3rd and 4. Bob Parsons, number 86.
And I've got to admire the offensive pattern of Penn State. 3rd and 4, I think everyone felt with their powerful running attack they were going to throw the ball. Huffnagel made a great fake, and the crossing pattern to Parsons, he was wide open as Tennessee went for the play fake.
This drive started at the Penn State 29. They have reached the Tennessee 26 with a 1st and 10. And if you just joined us, 1 score, a 76-yard run by Conrad Graham after Huffnagel fumbled. Graham catching it in midair and going 76 yards for the Tennessee score. Lydell Mitchell, number 23.
Let's watch Jackie Walker, Tennessee's great linebacker, on the isolated camera, number 52. Watch him read. He kind of slips the blocker. He doesn't take him on, but he's quick enough to just slip past them and then move in to make the tackle.
With the ball at the 24 of Tennessee, Penn State has a 2nd down and 8. Tennessee leads 7-0. Chuck Hurd in the lineup to the near side of the field, number 25. Tough break, Franco Harris losing his footing on the tartan turf here at Neyland Stadium in Knoxville, Tennessee. Rotella from Verona, New Jersey, on the tackle at the 21, bringing up a 3rd down and 5.
Huffnagel, a very impressive quarterback. 62% of his passes going into this game, 3 for 3 thus far today. He runs the option well. He's strong. He hands the ball off well.
Skarzinski goes to the far side of the field on 3rd and 5. Cole is also to the right. Huffnagel with Harris blocking. Huffnagel outside. Franco Harris blocking for his quarterback as Conrad Graham forces Huffnagel out of bounds at the 14, Bud. First down.
And I've always felt that's the toughest play to defense in football. You get the inside fake with a runner like Mitchell to freeze the linebackers. Then Huffnagel comes out on the option to pass or run. If you've got the receivers covered, there's usually room for Huffnagel. If somebody comes up to keep him from running with the ball, then he can find somebody open. He executes the play extremely well.
But he is a classy junior. And the folks at State College will have him around next year. First and 10 now from the 14. Tennessee leads 7-0. Mitchell. A loss of 1. Walker, 52. Rotelli and Carl Johnson, 59.
First bit of misdirection that we've had. All the rest of the plays have been straight ahead power type plays. That time we had a little cross buck. Tennessee did not take the first fake.
Now Penn State has controlled the ball the longest, 12 minutes and 17 seconds. Tennessee about 8 minutes. Second and 11 for the Nittany Lions from the Tennessee 15. Huffnagel. Good job of the defensive secondary covering 3 receivers who had gone into the end zone. Ken Lambert comes in on Huffnagel and brings him down. Coming up on ABC's Wide World of Sports at 5 Eastern and Pacific, 4 Central Time, the International Grand Prix Motorcycle Championships from Elsinore, California, and the World Water Skiing Championships from Banyoles, Spain. That's Wide World of Sports. Will be seen at 4:30 p.m. today in Los Angeles and San Francisco. Now we have a third down and 17. Huffnagel. Mitchell out of bounds at about the 10. Be an 11-yard gain and bringing up a 4th down, Bud.
And the Tennessee defense again swung to the wide field. That left the corner of the field open, and certainly Huffnagel has showed a great deal of courage throwing that ball back, but he's a very accurate thrower.
Vitiello Alberto is back to try a field goal. He's 4 of 12. This one will come from the 17 plus the 10 of the end zone. A 27-yard kick is up and good. Vitiello of Penn State makes the field goal from 27 yards out, as this is NCAA college football. With timeout, the score: Tennessee 7, Penn State 3. Penn State has scored on a field goal from 27 yards as Bobby Majors and Steve Chansey await the kick. Vitiello from Naples, Italy, now living in East Meadow, Long Island, kicks, and looking at the ball is Majors coming out to the 5. Chansey blocking. Majors gets to the 20. He gets another block to the 30. Out to the 40. The referee gets in his way. And he brings it back to the 41. And this is quite a day for Bobby Majors as Jim Scott.
Let's watch it again. You can see the kick. It was low. It bounced around. I thought Majors was going to down it in the end zone here and was going to say something about how much football savvy he had. He thought that blocking would be there, and it was. And this is one of the better open field tackles I've seen. Majors is great in the open field as he avoided the official, and Scott took him on square and brought him down.
Scott got him on his opening kickoff return of 57 yards. So he's done it again from the 41 of Penn State, first down. Maxwell handing off to Bill Rudder, the sophomore fullback, today replacing full-time the injured Kurt Watson. Zapek, great football player, and Chuck Mesko, a senior defensive halfback, make the tackle at the Penn State 37.
Let's look at Zapek. He's the outside linebacker on the Penn State 4-4. Watch him fight through the blocker here, then use his lateral speed to get out on the tackle as Mesko comes up.
Second down and 6, Tennessee. In the direction of Chansey, but the rush caused Maxwell to throw it very poorly. Aaron Hold, number 79 from his defensive left tackle position, joined by the defensive right end, Lasovic, put the rush on. Welcome camera crew, ABC Sports. Well, they are only welcoming the best camera crew in the world. Amen. Thank you. Third down and 6 for Tennessee. From the Penn State 37, Tennessee leads 7-3. Here's Maxwell. Oh. Gary Gray, we thought, had it. He's from Levittown, Pennsylvania.
And Penn State's done a superb job of shutting off the Tennessee running attack. Tennessee has run the ball 11 times for a total of 40 yards, but 31 of those yards came on one play. So most of the time, they've just simply snuffed them off at the line of scrimmage, and when you can do that, that gives you the extra help back in the secondary against the passes.
The line of scrimmage is the 37 as we have a red-shirted youngster stealing the football. And the football is returned. Nice try. 4th and 6, Bobby Majors to punt. 7:50 to go in the first half. And Majors tries for the corner, goes into the end zone and through it. It'll come out to the 20-yard line from where Penn State will try to mount a drive here at the halfway point of the second quarter. College football. What better way to spend an autumn afternoon? With timeout, the score, Tennessee 7, Penn State 3. Penn State with 135 total yards and 3 points. Tennessee 85 yards and 7 points on a 76-yard intercepted fumble return for the score.
And the last two Penn State possessions, they've looked awesome. They're bigger, stronger, and they simply have rolled the Tennessee defense back.
Boy, they are muscular. Donchez is in at fullback. Number 32 from the 20, Hufnagel. An interception by number 13, David Allen. David Allen was positioned perfectly. So Tennessee gets the ball. Now, this is quite an interception because Hufnagel, who has thrown 9 touchdown passes, has been intercepted only 4 times, Bud.
And that was 5. That puts Tennessee in business, Chris, on the 15. Third time they've gotten the ball in Tennessee territory, twice, or Penn State territory, twice on great kickoff returns, and this one with a fine interception.
George Sylvie, number 43, to the far side of the field as a flanker. From the 15, first down, Tennessee. Bill Rudder fired up. And the offensive guard, Philip Fulmer and Emmendorfer, number 64, are both upset that they didn't go all the way.
They opened the hole on the trap beautifully.
Number 13, David Allen, who intercepted the Hufnagel pass. And with the ball at the 6, it's a second down and 1. Thompson to the near side. There shows you the toughness of the Penn State defensive front 4 and their 3 linebackers. Number 30 is Gary Gray, and 79 was Frank Aaronhold as the stop was made at the 5.
He went in there all by himself, Chris. Normally you have somebody leading you. That was just a straight handoff. You're looking for just a little crack, but it wasn't there.
Now, Tennessee needs a little more than the length of a football at the 5 on 3rd down for a first down. The power I formation. First and goal, Bill Rudder.
And that's what those extra backs blocking mean for you.
Up front, Philip Fulmer, 65, 64, Emmendorfer, Baltrup, 76, Hill, 73. So now it's first and goal from the 1.5. 7-3, Tennessee leads. Tennessee threatening here. 6:12 to go, first half. All right, again. Tennessee players giving the touchdown signal, but none of the officials.
You can see him over there marking it. He says he missed it 4 inches.
Rudder again. And there you see Gray. You see number 72, Jim Heller. And there is the distance needed to the goal line. Second down and goal. Partisan Tennessee fans watching with you. Touchdown, Bill Rudder. Rudder, who's been averaging 5.4 yards per carry, goes in for the Tennessee score. And Tennessee, a big underdog in this game, now has a 13-3 lead. Fulmer and Hill on the far side of the offensive line opened the hole, as we'll have Hunt now trying for his 57th, 58th consecutive point after. He makes it. 5:32 of the second quarter. We have a timeout here at Neyland Stadium in Knoxville, Tennessee. The score, the Volunteers 14, the Nittany Lions 3. On the left, George Hunt, and you will note that he tries to kick kickoffs very high in the air, and as a result, the Penn State receivers are up on the 13-yard line instead of deeper. It's high in the air, and forced back was Chuck Hurd. Wow.
He didn't mean to do that, Chris, but he gave the fair catch signal.
Well, there's a great deal of pressure on.
You can't say that he was shielding his eyes from the sun because the sun was at his back. I think they must have practiced the fair catch, Chris, because of the height of the normal Tennessee kickoff, and usually there are a lot of people down there, and having practiced it, he didn't realize how deep that one had gone.
It was human to air. I'd like to defend him.
I would too.
Yes, sir. It's a tough spot to make a decision. All right, from the 5, 1st and 10, Penn State. That was Lydell Mitchell, bringing it out to about the 8 or 9 yard line.
And every series is highly critical, but this is an extremely critical series for Penn State. If Tennessee can stop them here and get the ball with field position, they could really get some action going. Penn State has got to knock it out here.
I didn't understand that last sign.
I thought they were going to say the great.
2nd down and 7 now. Penn State with the ball. Franco Harris, as the Tennessee team is fired up. 8 wins, 2 losses. A 1-point loss to Auburn and then to Alabama. They've scored 225 points thus far today. They have 14. Penn State has a 27-yard field goal. Carl Johnson making the tackle at about the 10, so it's going to be a 3rd down and 5. Rickenbacker, 40, leaves the Penn State lineup. You see him running to the far sideline. And a very fine junior, number 84, Scott Skarzinski from South River, New Jersey, is in the lineup. 3rd and 5, Huffnagel, the quarterback. Huffnagel in trouble. Uh-oh. Did he get it out of the end zone? It appears he did. Ken Lambert putting the pressure, and a very smart move by Huffnagel.
He was almost trapped in the end zone. He recognized where he was. He just barely got it out there. Tennessee has switched their defense in those first 4 passes that were completed against them. Let's take a look at this again. You can see only 4 men rushing now. They've got 5 men in the short zones. Huffnagel tries to run. He's cut off. He's in the end zone, and he just barely gets it out.
He said he was a classy performer. Huffnagel, 4th and 15, inches away from the goal line. Bob Parsons at the end line to punt. Out it comes. Back deep, Bobby Majors at the 45 of Penn State, the 40, the 35, the 30. Look at Bobby go! What a day he's having. Touchdown, Tennessee! 45 yards on a day that the Majors family is being honored here in Tennessee. Holy mackerel.
What a team play, Chris. The Tennessee lineman came back and knocked everybody down. Majors is as poised a runner as I've seen because he lets the blockers work. So many ball carriers overrun their blockers, but he simply lets them work for him.
Bobby Majors with an opening kickoff of 57 yards. He had another big one, and this one was 45. What an afternoon. The All-American from Sewanee. We'll show you the punt return and the great blocking by the Tennessee teammates of Majors as George Hunt tries for 59 straight. It's up and good. 21-3. It's hard to believe.
Let's take a look at it again. Every play in football is a team play. Watch Majors. Here he has it. And now watch these great blocks. There are the linemen. The wall is forming. They knock everybody down. They overran it a little bit, too. There's another super block. And now watch Majors poise as he lets everybody work for him to get the final block on Parsons, who had kicked the ball and who now had become the safety man. There he is, and you can see all the Tennessee people down there on him. Once more, he reads the blocks, and that's the poise that comes from a skilled, experienced football player. He's a great one.
The reason that you see the picture juggling, the folks in the upper deck, where one of our mini cameras is located, is just moving along with all the up and down movement of the fans. 21-3. The high kick is taken by Mitchell. Mitchell of Penn State comes out to the 29-yard line. And in 2 minutes, following an interception by Allen, Tennessee has scored twice. Making the tackle was Art Reynolds. You know, the College Division Bowl games will be next Saturday. The Boardwalk Bowl, Delaware, C.W. Post, the Grantland Rice Bowl, McNeese State, Tennessee State, the Pioneer Bowl, Eastern Michigan, Louisiana Tech, and the Camellia Bowl, Boise State and Chico State. Check your local listings for time and telecast. Mitchell carrying on the play.
It looks, Chris, as though the score is one-sided for Tennessee, but I'm certainly not convinced that Penn State is out of this game at all. This is a very powerful offensive football team, and they've moved the ball extremely well after their first 2 possessions.
But return yardage on kicks now by Bobby Majors, 171 yards on kick returns.
And that's 70 more yards than they have gained from scrimmage, as you just saw.
So now with the ball at the 33, it's 2nd down and 6 for the Nittany Lions, who are down 21-3. They'll come back. They're a great ball club. Lydell Mitchell as Jamie Rotella. Next to the stop, there's Mitchell in the white jersey, number 23, and there's the time remaining in the first half. At halftime, the Great Blue Band from State College, Pennsylvania, and the Pride of the Southland Band, Tennessee.
And Tennessee thinking the short games that will not hurt us. 2 minutes, 24 seconds are kind of fighting the clock. Just let them bite off any big yardage.
There's the Coach of the Year, 1968, Joe Paterno. 1st and 10 from the 39, Huffnagel. Completion to Skarzinski, number 84. And the forward progress is out near midfield. David Allen on the tackle.
Huffnagel was rolling to the bottom of the screen, and he started to run. That opened up Skarzinski. And Huffnagel running to his left, drilled it in there. The hard throw for the right-handed quarterback.
Although he's had 1 interception, Huffnagel has completed 5 of 6 for 56 yards. From the Tennessee 49, 1st down. Mitchell sliding to the 45. Frank Howell, number 83, at the bottom, making the tackle for the Volunteer defense. Rickenbacker comes in, along with Skarzinski. So let's see what play Penn State will use now, as they have a 2nd down and 6 with 1:23 to go in the first half and trailing 21-3. Huffnagel. Mitchell. Look at that Mitchell battle.
You can count the number of Tennessee people there. Great throw by Huffnagel. He was rushed very hard on the play.
6 Tennessee tacklers in on All-American Lydell Mitchell, number 23. 1:08 to go in the first half. Tennessee leading. A surprise, 21-3. Let's go down to Bill Fleming.
All right, with me right here is the premier sprinter in swimming in the United States today. He is Dave Edgar of the University of Tennessee. And Dave, it's great to see you here on a football afternoon. Tell us a little bit about your training schedule right now.
Well, Mr. Fleming, right now we're going somewhere in the neighborhood of 35 miles per week, as we have been for the last 6 weeks. And this consists of 2 workouts a day most of the week, and 1 workout a day on a couple days.
Okay, we're looking, of course, ahead to Munich, and naturally you are thinking about that and that only.
Yes, that's the only thing that's on the minds of the American swimmers right now. We have our collegiate season to finish up, but everyone's mind is on Munich and the Olympic trials in July.
Boy, you keep swimming that amount every day, and you'll have swum to Munich by the time the games come up in 9 months.
It could be.
Best of luck to you, Dave.
Thank you, Mr. Fleming.
Dave Edgar, who is our NCAA champion for the last 2 years, holds the American records in both the 50 and 100-yard races, and he'll be at Munich. You can be sure of that. Okay, back to you, Chris.
As a matter of fact, you'll see that combination in Munich, Bill Fleming and Dave. All right. But return yardage on kicks now by Bobby Majors, 171 yards on kick returns.
And that's 70 more yards than they have gained from scrimmage, as you just saw.
So now with the ball at the 33, it's 2nd down and 6 for the Nittany Lions, who are down 21-3. They'll come back. They're a great ball club. Lydell Mitchell as Jamie Rotella. Next to the stop, there's Mitchell in the white jersey, number 23, and there's the time remaining in the first half. At halftime, the Great Blue Band from State College, Pennsylvania, and the Pride of the Southland Band, Tennessee.
And Tennessee thinking the short gains that will not hurt us. 2 minutes, 24 seconds are kind of fighting the clock. Just won't let them bite off any big yardage.
There's the coach of the year, 1968, Joe Paterno. 1st and 10 from the 39, Huffnagel. Completion to Skarzinski, number 84. And the forward progress is out near midfield. David Allen on the tackle.
Huffnagel was rolling to the bottom of the screen, and he started to run. That opened up Skarzinski. And Huffnagel, running to his left, drilled it in there. The hard throw for the right-handed quarterback.
Although he's had one interception, Huffnagel has completed 5 of 6 for 56 yards. From the Tennessee 49, 1st down. Mitchell sliding to the 45. Frank Howell, number 83, at the bottom, making the tackle for the Volunteer defense. Rickenbacker comes in, along with Skarzinski. So let's see what play Penn State will use now as they have a 2nd down and 6 with 1:23 to go in the first half and trailing 21-3. Huffnagel. Mitchell. Look at that Mitchell battle.
You can count the number of Tennessee people there. Great throw by Huffnagel. He was rushed very hard on the play.
6 Tennessee tacklers in on All-American Lydell Mitchell, number 23. 1:08 seconds to go in the first half. Tennessee leading. A surprise, 21-3. Let's go down to Bill Fleming.
All right, with me right here is the premier sprinter in swimming in the United States today. He is Dave Edgar of the University of Tennessee. And Dave, it's great to see you here on a football afternoon. Tell us a little bit about your training schedule right now.
Well, Mr. Fleming, right now we're going somewhere in the neighborhood of 35 miles per week, as we have been for the last 6 weeks. And this consists of 2 workouts a day most of the week, and 1 workout a day on a couple days.
Okay, we're looking, of course, ahead to Munich, and naturally you are thinking about that and that only.
Yes, that's the only thing that's on the minds of the American swimmers right now. We have our collegiate season to finish up, but everyone's mind is on Munich and the Olympic trials in July.
Boy, you keep swimming that amount every day, and you'll have swum to Munich by the time the games come up in 9 months.
It could be.
Best of luck to you, Dave.
Thank you, Mr. Fleming.
Dave Edgar, who is our NCAA champion for the last 2 years, holds the American records in both the 50 and 100-yard races, and he'll be at Munich. You can be sure of that. Okay, back to you, Chris.
As a matter of fact, you'll see that combination in Munich, Bill Fleming and Dave. All right, 1st and 10 now at the 39. Time running out in the first half. Ball coming outside, and in the middle, everyone trying to tackle Mitchell, but it was Parsons who had the ball.
Very fine ball handling by Huffnagel, the great former quarterback coming around on the option play. Let's take a look at it again. You can see his speed. He weighs 233 pounds, lined up at wingback here. The inside fake of Mitchell, and that set it up for him. He turned the corner, but he did not get out of bounds, and Penn State is going to have only 1 timeout remaining with 56 seconds remaining on the clock.
And they have a 1st down at the Tennessee 28, we think. They've just called for a measurement. Tennessee led 7-0 at the end of the first quarter. They have scored 14 more points here in the second. Penn State, as we look at Joe Paterno, has a 27-yard field goal. Number 70 is All-American Dave Joyner, who, along with 10 others, will be honored as academic All-Americans by the National Football Foundation at the Waldorf on Tuesday night.
And when they have to carry the chains all the way across the field to get them set, it won't take Penn State very long with the clock running to snap the ball.
The 11th 1st down for Penn State. Huffnagel. Number 13, David Allen, who has 1 interception today, was covering Skarzinski on the play. So it'll be 2nd and 10. Clock stopped with 48 seconds remaining in the first half. Tennessee 21, Penn State 3, Bud.
And Penn State has got one of the better pass defenses in the country when they know their opponents are going to throw the ball. Tennessee's, I meant to say, Allen, Majors, Brown, and Graham, the 4 deep, are all exceptional players with great reaction.
They have 20 interceptions this year for 5 touchdowns. Huffnagel hiding that ball beautifully, pitching it out to Harris. Franco Harris twists to the 21. 3rd and 3 coming up.
And unless we have made a mistake in our counting, Chris, that's the last Penn State timeout.
Next Saturday, college division championship games will be played in 4 regions. Because today's game is the final regular season telecast of major college football this year, the National Collegiate Athletic Association has asked me to read the following message. The NCAA congratulates and expresses its deep appreciation to ABC for the network's superb presentation of college football during 1971. ABC's highly skilled sports staff again has very successfully captured the unique color, excitement, and competition of the college game. The NCAA is grateful, too, to its outstanding sponsors and to you millions of spectators who've supported college football in campus stadiums across the country, as well as in front of your television sets. With plenty of bowl action coming up, the NCAA hopes that college football will help brighten your holiday spirit. And now that I'm completely embarrassed by reading that message, we thank the NCAA. I thank the NCAA on behalf of the greatest sports team anywhere. For Penn State, it's 3rd down and 3 with 35 seconds to go. In the first half, they trail 21-3. The ball is at the Tennessee 21. From the I, slot formation near side. Early movement on the far end of the Penn State line.
You can see the Tennessee defense moving in and out. The defensive team, of course, is always free to move. The offensive team has got to stay set. That movement got Parsons kind of bouncing back and forth, and he did jump.
So the ball comes back to the 26. It'll be 3rd down and 8.
Let's watch it again. This Parsons, and he moved ahead of the snap, trying to break downfield. As you could see, the pass play had been called.
On the clock, 32 seconds. A punt return, a 15-yard drive following an interception. The last 2 touchdowns by Tennessee as Penn State tries to get its first. It was behind Bob Parsons, number 86. 4th down and 8, 28 seconds left in the clock. Be sure to stay tuned after the game today as we present the Chevrolet Offensive and Defensive Player of the Game Awards. Each winning player will receive a $1,000 check to the scholarship fund of his school. Vitiello, who tried a 27-yard field goal and was successful at 8:42 of this quarter, now is going to try one from 43 yards away. Steve Stilley is holding. Uh-oh, it's a fake. High snap. And it's intercepted. And wisely, running out of bounds, number 62, who didn't show a lot of speed, Claude Simonton from Covington, Tennessee, a junior. So on the clock, 19 seconds in the first half, and from the 32, Tennessee has the ball. 1st down with Maxwell at quarterback, a slot formation to the far side, wide setbacks behind Maxwell. The near side end is split away too. Bill Rudder, number 36, carrying across the 35.
And with that call, it's apparent that Coach Bill Battles is going to go into the half with a 21-3 lead rather than try to put more points on the board. And that's the story, really. Tennessee lost 1 fumble, but the 2 interceptions and the fumble that was intercepted in the air, resulting in a Tennessee touchdown, have been the difference in this half.
Well, as we look at the clock, Bud, it has stopped. Tennessee apparently called a timeout.
They have 1 more remaining, Chris, if I've kept track properly.
And you always do, Charles.
I wish so.
Speaking of bowl games, as we did earlier, don't forget on ABC, December 20th, the Liberty Bowl from Memphis. The 2 teams, Tennessee against Arkansas. Then the North-South Shrine game, the East-West Shrine game on December 31st, the Sugar Bowl from New Orleans, Auburn, Oklahoma on January 1st. 2nd and 6. And cautiously, Chancey carries the ball as the clock continues to move. A surprise first half. There's a great halftime of entertainment coming up. The score at Neyland Stadium in Knoxville, Tennessee is Tennessee 21, Penn State 3.
Bill Fleming back at Neyland Stadium here in Knoxville, where the Volunteers of Tennessee are leading Penn State by a surprising 21-3 margin here at halftime. Both bands are here today, and we think you'll get a kick out of seeing them perform here before this great crowd, certainly enjoying an afternoon of football. First of all, let's say a word about Penn State University, here today for the first time as the guest of Tennessee. Penn State, located in the mountains of central Pennsylvania, was chartered in 1855. From humble beginnings, the university has grown to be the 12th largest in the nation, with a student body of more than 47,000. A distinctive feature of Penn State is a system of 19 Commonwealth campuses located throughout the state. The Commonwealth campus system brings Penn State within commuting range of virtually every person in the entire state. The most recent addition to the university is the Milton S. Hershey Medical Center in Hershey, Pennsylvania. The College of Medicine graduated its first class this spring. Penn State offers its undergraduates bachelor's degrees in 118 separate programs. You're looking at the Penn State Blue Band right now, and the reason that you see the dollar sign on the gridiron is that this is kind of a current scene in America show at halftime. It's what they term an affectionate but sometimes satirical look at the contemporary times. And the reason we have the dollar sign there is that we are going through a wage price freeze right now to slow inflation. But some folks, as you can hear in the background, say, I've got plenty of nothing. Now the band will go into a scales. Here you're seeing the fulcrum. And these will be the scales of justice on the field. That is not the sign of Delta Tau Delta. The theme here is law and order. The scales of justice. And the music, Mercy, Mercy. Now the band will go into a block drill, Chinese-American drill, as a matter of fact, is what we're going to see, because this is in note of the historic visit to China, which President Nixon will make sometime after the first of the year, and at the get-together between President Nixon and Zhou Enlai, it'll be tea for two. The band under the direction of Dr. James Dunlop, and the associate director is Dr. Ned C. Deal. In all, 149 men in the band, and as they move into interlocking diagonals, I guess you'd call them, it is a little bit of a more serious note because it is hoped that during 72 there will be the withdrawal of American combat troops in Vietnam, and the Penn State Band is playing Johnny Come Home. A great performance by the Penn State University Blue Band, and I might say that these young men have been looking forward to this trip all year long. With the exception of the short trip to Pittsburgh, this is their only trip out of town. They've been planning for it all year long. It just so worked out that they did stay at our motel during this past day or so, and they are just really a fine group of young men who are here today performing for the Nittany Lions, and you'll see them go into the floating lion formation. Not only did they work out all yesterday afternoon, but they were up at 6 o'clock this morning, had their breakfast, and then came out to the stadium and drilled for 2.5 hours to put on this show. And you can see why they're noted as one of the great bands in the country. The Floating Lions formation, and the Nittany Lions being played by the Penn State Marching Blue Band. The Penn State-Tennessee game is being brought to you by Tipperillo, regular menthol and aromatic. Maybe we started something. By Texaco and the many thousands of Texaco retailers and distributors in all 50 states. Trust Texaco to have the right gasoline for your car. By Magnavox Color TV with its total automatic color system. Magnavox gives you more. And by Chevrolet, building a better way to see the USA. Now let's say a word about the University of Tennessee, with primary campuses in Knoxville, Martin, Memphis, Chattanooga, and Nashville. It's the 17th largest university in the nation and has an enrollment of 38,000 students this fall. Established in 1794, 2 years before Tennessee became a state, Tennessee was the first university to admit women students. As one of the largest universities in the South, Tennessee can offer its students a wide selection of study programs, and this enables the students to choose the course of study that most nearly parallels each individual's interests. 21 colleges and schools offer programs of study in 150 fields on the university's various campuses. The facilities available at Tennessee are designed to prepare all of its thousands of students for the demands of modern life. And now the Tennessee Band, the Pride of the Southland Band, directed by Dr. J. Julian. Walter McDaniel is the assistant director, and Jerry Field is the drum major. March on, Mighty Vols, as the band does a drill of floating diamonds on the gridiron. This is a new Tennessee song written by Barry McDonald. March on, Mighty Vols. Head majorette, incidentally, is Kathy McCarroll. The Americans' We March is to a drill of circles, flowers, sunbursts, and spirals. In addition to Kathy McCarroll, today you'll see Mary Brockman, Rhoda Long, Gail Love, Donna McKibben, Suzanne Minchie, Gail No, Leah Smith, Susie Smith, and Teresa Steiner. And in all totals 250. We're here at halftime in Knoxville, Tennessee at Neyland Stadium, where the Tennessee Volunteers are leading Penn State 21-3. And keep in mind, Penn State ranked number 5 in the nation coming into this game against a team that's been defeated twice, but has come on strong to win 5 in a row. And they hope to go into the Liberty Bowl game with a victory over Penn State here today. But remember, there's still 30 minutes of football. Right now, a couple of trumpets being formed on the field. It was a sad day, as you know, back in July of this year when Louis Armstrong, old Satchmo, passed away, but naturally his memory lingers on. So the Tennessee band swings now into South Rampart Street Parade, and they salute the memory of the great jazz trumpeter, old Satchmo, and they'll play the St. Louis Blues after the Rampart Street Parade. Undoubtedly see from your set at home, those are notes leaving the instrument. And there you see the last letter of Louis spelled out on the gridiron. Yes, sir, Satchmo would have loved it. The sweet music of the Pride of the Southland Band from the University of Tennessee. And now, just to prove its versatility, the band concludes with more of a classical number, I guess you'd call it. First of all, we heard an original tune, then a march by Fillmore, then some blues, and now we go to Igor Stravinsky. as the band will go into a block and concert formation and play the Firebird Suite. The University of Tennessee, Pride of the Southland Band. Dr. J. Julian, director. And quite a halftime show by both bands. There's Penn State's team coming back onto the gridiron, and the Tennessee Waltz March will move the Tennessee band off the field. I should mention that Igor Stravinsky, one of the noted Russian composers, also passed away during the year of 1971, and this number was really in tribute to his great work, the Firebird Suite. The halftime and music are over, and coming up next, the second half, and the score here at Neyland Stadium is Tennessee 21 and Penn State 3. As you can see, the teams are coming out, getting ready for this second half of football. A man who is mighty happy with the halftime results is Professor Earl Raymer, who is the chairman of the athletic board here at the University of Tennessee and also is the president of the NCAA. Professor Raymer, I know that you must be overjoyed with the halftime score.
Bill, this is a great day for us, and we're satisfied, but there's another half to be played.
You know, let's reflect a little bit on this 1971 season. The crowds are better. I know our television audience is higher. It's really been great football.
I think that our attendance records nationwide will be the highest this year they've ever been, Bill. We don't have the final totals, but I think our situation here can be illustrative of what's happened all over the country. In our 7 games in the Neyland Stadium, we have averaged more than 60,000, making a 420,000 paid attendance record here with us this year, which breaks all of our past records.
I know, Professor Raymer, that all the figures aren't in, but just over the Thanksgiving holiday alone, the preliminary figures indicate that our 4 games on ABC were seen by 150 million people, which kind of attests to the NCAA television policy as being sound.
That must indeed break all records for a weekend, Bill, and it was marvelous. And I suppose that never before have we had so many undefeated teams being matched up late in the season, and it has been great for everyone, believe me.
All right, fine, and I know Tennessee is Liberty Bowl bound, but right now we're getting ready for the second half of play. Thank you for joining us, Professor Raymer. Now back to Chris Schenkel and Bud Wilkinson.
Thank you very much, Bill. Back deep now, Joe Paterno has put Lydell Mitchell, one of 3 potential receivers of George Hunt's second half kickoff. John Capoletti, 22 is deep, along with 87 Ed O'Neill. Capoletti looks at the ball in the end zone, and wisely, with the kick coverage people coming down fast in the orange jerseys, it'll be a touchback for Penn State. A heavy favorite in this game to remain undefeated. Are trailing 21-3.
Penn State offensive lineup, as you can see, and Penn State is very much in the game. They moved the ball very well in the first half. They had a punt run back for a touchdown, an interception that was caught in the air for a touchdown, and another interception that gave Tennessee the ball on the 15-yard line to set up those 21 points.
Mike Bott's ready to snap the ball to Huffnagel. Huffnagel in turn hands it off quickly to Lydell Mitchell from the 20-yard line.
As we look at the statistics here, it appears that Penn State is in charge, but if you add the 223 yards of kick returns to Tennessee's total yardage, that makes 330 total yards for Tennessee, and that, of course, is not shown on those statistics.
Second down and 6 now from the 24. Penn State with the ball. The second play here in the second half. Outside, Mitchell. Mitchell moving out to about the 27. Jamie Ratelli and David Allen converging on him.
And Allen making the play that every cornerback's supposed to make. If you don't make the tackle, turn him in. There's some help there. If you miss him, there's nobody on the outside.
Allen has one interception today, which set up a 15-yard march in 5 plays with Rudder scoring the touchdown. We'll recap the scoring for you at our first opportunity as Penn State has kicked a 27-yard field goal, midpoint of the second quarter. They trail 21-3, 3rd and 3. Huffnagel outside to Franco Harris. Jackie Walker moving laterally to force him out of bounds.
Both coaches between halves, Chris, I know, had a tough job, but Bill Battle of Tennessee telling his team that, sure, you've got a big lead, but you've got to get the ball. This is a great offensive team, and when you get it, you've got to keep it. And Joe Paterno telling his team, stay with our game plan. We've moved the ball. It's been our own mistakes that have killed us, and don't get panicky.
Harris has carried the ball 11 times, 64 yards. Mitchell 16 times for 57. First and 10 from their own 32. Penn State with the ball. Out to the 35, Jackie Walker moves in on the ball carrier, number 23, Lydell Mitchell, as we isolate on Walker.
Walker's the boy that forced the fumble that was caught in the air by Graham and resulted in a Tennessee touchdown. Watch his lateral movement here and how he sets himself, reads the play, and takes him on as square as you possibly can.
Skarzinski for Penn State at the bottom of your screen, number 84, with the ball at the 35, second down and 7. Huffnagel finds Parsons at the 42. David Allen, number 13, covering Parsons, 6'3", 233 pounds, and it's another Nittany Lion. First down.
Almost impossible to get double coverage here. Parsons is the end, number 86. You can see him on the crossing pattern. The swing was to the right of the screen, and with a flow that way, Huffnagel moving that way, and Mitchell coming over the ball, you know you're going to get 1-to-1. Allen made a good play.
3 catches for Parsons, 37 yards. First and 10 from the Penn State 43. 21-3, Tennessee leading. What a catch at the 49 of Tennessee. Glenn Cole of Towanda, Pennsylvania, senior. Conrad Graham, who scored one of the Tennessee touchdowns, returning an intercepted fumble, made the tackle. There you see the points that Penn State has scored this year, averaging 44.3. Total yardage average, 463 yards a game. They are undefeated. So now it's a second down and 2 at the Tennessee 49. And getting more than enough, Lydell Mitchell. Mitchell, who holds 3 NCAA records, touchdowns in one season, 28. Touchdowns rushing in one season, 26. Points in a season, 168. He's looking for his first points today as Penn State trails. The ball now, however, on the 45 of Tennessee. First and 10 for the Nittany Lions. There's Mitchell, 23, 16, Huffnagel. Cole is 48, Franco Harris is 34, Bob Rickenbach, 40, is back in at end. To the far side, it's Cole. Slot I. Loose ball. Tennessee recovers a Franco Harris fumble. And when things are going right, they sometimes seem to continue as Ray Nettles, the leading tackler on the Tennessee defense, recovers.
It's a new wrinkle in the Tennessee type defense. Nettles is off the line a little bit as the middle guard. Here he is, moving in and really just stealing the ball from Harris, who didn't quite ever have control of it.
The 4th turnover, Penn State. Tennessee at their own 45, first down. Maxwell calling signals. A big, beautiful hole, and Rudder goes through. And look at the pursuit of the Penn State defenders. Bannon, Aaronhold, Zapak, Hull, Gray, Heller, Lasovic, Ellis, Scorpan, Duquette, and Mesco are the defenders as we look at the Tennessee forward line offensively.
When you're in that even set that Penn State plays, you're always vulnerable to that trap up the middle. That time, Tennessee got great execution on it from their guards, Fulmer and Emmendorfer.
From the Penn State 44, first down. Tennessee with the ball. Steve Chansey. Stopped by number 72, Jim Heller. Joined also by 49, Tom Hull, and Gray, number 30. The last time we were here in televising the Auburn, Tennessee game, number 16 was a fourth-string quarterback, Bud.
Yes, but since he became the starting quarterback for Tennessee, they have not lost. Maxwell is a fifth-year man who has great poise and a strong arm.
Second down and 9. Here's Maxwell. Incomplete.
That's one of those statistics, Chris, that I always wonder about. It goes down that the passer failed to complete it, but actually he hit him right in the hands.
Yes, he did. Zapak covering Rudder on the play, so it'll be a third down and 9. There you see Penn State, 2 fumbles, 2 interceptions, 1 error on the part of Tennessee. They have capitalized on the errors. They lead 21-3. Now third and 9 from the Penn State 43. Maxwell, wide open. Rudder inside the 35, out of bounds at about the 30, and a first down. Buddy Ellis covering defensively on the play, number 18.
And a mighty big first down because Tennessee has George Hunt, one of the better field goal kickers in college football, and he's now well within range.
George Hunt missed a 53-yard field goal, the midway point of the first quarter. Then a 76-yard score by Graham, following an interception, a 15-yard drive with Rudder scoring. 2 minutes later, a 45-yard punt return by Bobby Majors, and a 27-yard field goal for Penn State. 21-3, Tennessee leading from the 30, first down. We're in the third quarter. Rudder.
Maxwell, excuse me, Chris, checking signals at the line of scrimmage, and Penn State then changing the defense, jumping Gray into the line after he's checked signals. It's awfully hard to run that trap play against what we call the odd set, where you have a man directly over the center.
83 Bannon and 49 Hull making the tackle. Rudder is leading Tennessee in rushing with 60 yards and 13 carries. Going to the far side, we have 90 Thompson. Second and 7. Intended for the fullback Rudder. Long.
And no time, Chris. They came with both linebackers in the 4 front.
The end of the first quarter, Tennessee led 7-0. And at halftime, 21-3, and that's the score now with 10 minutes and 12 seconds remaining in the third quarter. Maxwell is 6 of 13 for 58 yards. Number 16 on the orange jersey, and we'll see those jerseys again at the famous Liberty Bowl in Memphis, Tennessee, as they go against Arkansas. December 20th, the night of Monday, December 20th. Oh, a beautiful pulling on of a pass by Greg Duquette. Maxwell tried to hit Filer, but Duquette, number 35, a junior, brings it in, and Penn State gets the ball. Saturday afternoons in the fall mean colorful college football here on ABC with timeout at Neyland Stadium in Knoxville. The score, Tennessee 21, Penn State 3.
Maxwell was rushed on this play. This is Thyler going down the field. Whenever the ball is hung up in the air, that's Ellis going with him, but whenever the ball is in the air a long time, alert secondaries have time to come over and field it, as Duquette does here, high in the air to pick it off and make the interception for Penn State.
Penn State with a first and 10 at their own 7. Oh, boy. What desire.
They play.
Franco Harris brought in a host of Tennessee tacklers, mainly Jackie Walker and Frank Howell.
Let's watch Walker again here. The Tennessee defense, when they stop him cold, it's every play, the elation. As you see Walker drive through there, slipping everybody and finding the seam to make the tackle. Every play is though they stopped them on the 1-yard line. This is truly a fired-up defense.
Cole comes to the near side of the field on 2nd and 9 from their own 8. Hufnagel. That was Harris, the fullback, seeping out of the backfield. Couldn't hang on to the ball, so it'll be a third down and 9. for Penn State, coming into the game undefeated in 10, ranked number 5 in the country, a colorful and classy team.
Those fumbles that Tennessee lost and the interception may have prevented 2 field goals if you believe that Hunt is as long and accurate as he has been in previous games.
Cole and Skarzinski to the near side, 3rd and 9. And they give it to Mitchell. Two Tennessee men and the Tennessee cheerleaders. Jackie Walker in on the play, his 9th tackle with 4 assists, so it is 4th down, coming up, 4th and 7.
And a very strong series of downs for Tennessee because Bobby Majors is now back, and we've got Penn State kicking from deep in their end zone.
Earlier, he returned a punt of 45 yards for a touchdown, an absolute beautiful thing with the help of his teammates blocking. Now it's Parsons back to punt. He has 171 yards on kick returns, and wisely Bobby calls for a fair catch at the Tennessee, or rather the Penn State, 47. The Volunteers take over. Majors, his average return today, 42.8 and 6 points.
They played great field position football. The best field position Penn State's had the ball on in exchange has been their own 29-yard line.
2 potential receivers to the near side of the field from the 47 at Penn State. Thompson and Love are over to this side. Penn. Stop a touchdown.
He was past everybody, but his momentum caused him to fall. Let's take a look at Rudder again. Just a quick slant. Great block in there by Chansey. There's the daylight. He runs right through the linebacker. The halfback bounces off him, and then he stumbles as he breaks into the clear.
A 27-yard run by the fullback Rudder. 1st and 10 at the 20. Tennessee with the ball. Penn State 20. Thompson and Love again to the near side of the field. And Rudder brings with him Jim Heller, number 72 of Pottsville, Pennsylvania. 15 carries, 97 yards. Filling in for the injured Kurt Watson, all-time Tennessee rusher, and Rudder, a sophomore, is showing his mettle at the 11 now. It'll be 2nd down and 1. 7:52 to go. 3rd quarter, upset in the making. Tennessee 21, Penn State 3. Rudder, stop, but he gets the 1st down.
Toughest place on the field to score. He's got 1st down, as you can see, just barely inside the 10-yard line.
Tennessee will meet Arkansas in their Liberty Bowl Monday night, December 20th, right here on ABC. And I'm sure Frank Broyles and his Razorbacks are watching their opponent, while the Texans, the Longhorns, are watching Penn State, their opponent in the Cotton Bowl. 1st and goal. Good defensive work by Penn State. Gray is 30. Sylvie, 43, is the ball carrier. But the first hit was made by 72, the defensive right tackle, Jim Heller, a junior.
And the little pass fake there by Maxwell, but Tennessee using the fake ineffectively as Penn State really closed. Let's take a look at Gray, the linebacker, and you can see that he didn't take any pass fake at all. Here he comes, and he's got Sylvie.
2nd down, goal to go from the 9. Maxwell, a bullet, intercepted in the end zone, or was it? Yes, it was. Number 20, Mesko, Chuck Mesko of Akron, Ohio, gets another interception. Timeout here at Neyland Stadium in Knoxville. The score, Tennessee 21, Penn State 3. You're looking at number 20, Chuck Mesko, who has intercepted the 2nd Maxwell pass, stopping a Tennessee score and giving the ball to Penn State, 1st and 10 at the 20, as Penn State, the heavy favorite, trails 21-3. 6:45 to go in the 3rd quarter. Here's Huffnagel from the 20, 1st down. Great pass to Parsons. Parsons, the converted quarterback, shows his power by bringing it out to the 34-yard line, Bud.
Now let's watch Parsons again. He's the tight end. The fake of the play is to the right of your screen, And he runs the crossing pattern, and with the flow to the right of the screen, he's got to be wide open. He makes a great effort here, but the pursuit of Tennessee brings him down after the first down.
He's from Wind Gap, Pennsylvania. His fourth catch, now from the 34, first down, Penn State. And Huffnagel finds Skarzinski. Tennessee defenders believing that they had knocked the ball loose and had recovered. And it's ruled an incompletion.
Well, they close fast once that ball's in the air.
21-3, Tennessee in the lead with 6:11 to go in the third quarter. They led at the end of the first quarter 7-0. At halftime, 21-3. Huffnagel has thrown 15 times, completing 10 for 103 yards. Now the split end to the near side of the field, 2nd and 10. Great throw. And a beautiful catch by Bob Rickenbach, number 40, from Audubon, New Jersey. About as beautiful as the great paintings by James Audubon.
Penn State accurate on those throws, Huffnagel particularly so.
Now with the ball at the 47 of Tennessee, first down, Lydell Mitchell. Ray Nettles is underneath. And so was number 82, Ken Lambert, the sophomore from Jacksonville, Florida. 6'3", not too heavy at 190, but is quick. Ball is now at the 44 of Tennessee. It's a 2nd down and 7. Oklahoma leads Oklahoma State 3-0 in the first quarter. And we had a report earlier that they had 4 inches of snow on the field in Stillwater. 2nd and 7, Penn State. Pitching it out to Parsons at the last moment for a 2-yard loss.
This defense has got to be among the quickest, Chris, that we've seen all year. They're not big, but they read extremely well, and they certainly close on the ball.
But they've had tough opponents. They've allowed only 97 points in 10 games. Make it 100 now with the 3 that Penn State has on a 27-yard field goal.
And only one team scoring more than 1 touchdown against them, and that's Alabama.
Alabama undefeated. Now coming to the near side, Cole 48, along with Skarzinski 84 in the slot on 3rd and 9. Huffnagel intended for Parsons. And upset was Danny Jeffries of Dyersburg, Tennessee, number 48, that he didn't intercept.
This is one of the toughest defenses in college football to throw into, and they know that you've got to throw. Let's take a look at Tennessee again here. We get the replay tape up. It's a double team on Parsons, who's been their number 1 receiver. Here he is off the line of scrimmage, running the post pattern, and you can see them close on him.
Bobby Majors is deep, awaiting Bob Parsons' punt on 4th down and 9. 21-3, Tennessee leads, 4:48 to go, third quarter. Mike Botch ready to snap the ball. He has. Majors looking at the punt, and it is a hummer by Parsons. Through the end zone, touchback. Coming up on ABC's Wide World of Sports at 5 Eastern and Pacific, 4 Central Time, and in Los Angeles and San Francisco at 4:30 p.m. today, the International Grand Prix Motorcycle Championship from Elsinore, California. Our NCAA football director directed that show, and he tells me that it's one of the most exciting motorcycle events ever. Also on the show, incidentally, his name is Andy Sedaris, the World Water Skiing Championships from Spain as well on Wide World Today. Now from the 20, first down. Carrying on the play, Steve Chansey, number 41 from Knoxville. Laslovic, number 47, on the tackle at the 22, 2nd and 8.
And Tennessee thinking ball possession. If we can just hang on to it with the lead we've got, and if we don't let them make the breakaway play, we've got that upset.
Tennessee in the orange, if you're watching in color, 2nd and 8 from their own 22. Rudder getting out near the 25. 79 getting up is Aaron Holt. 72 is Heller. 30 is Gray. 36 in orange is Rudder. Tom Hull was also there. We have to give him credit for the Penn State defense. With the ball at the 25, it's a 3rd down and 5.
And that's one of the toughest situations for a defense. In this situation, they don't know whether it's going to be run or pass, and you can make 5 yards on the draw play very easily.
Maxwell, the senior, from Nashville. Quarterback. Chancey, on a great effort, may have gotten a first down.
That was that little bit of a pass fake as Maxwell started back, just enough to raise the guards and the linebackers of Penn State, letting him pick up the first down.
On the left, Joe Paterno, winning 83% of his games as head coach at Penn State. And on the right, Bill Battles, who will be 30 years old on Wednesday, 19-3.
And Joe thinking that first down gave them 2 more minutes of the clock.
Right. Coming up to the 3-minute mark of the third quarter. Tennessee 21. Penn State 3. 5 more yards by Rudder, the fullback. He's nearing the 100-yard mark. In fact, he has surpassed it by 5.
And the Tennessee line beginning to kick out very effectively. That was Hill, Fulmer, Tom Johnson leading the way.
Johnson the center, Fulmer the left guard. On the near side of the field. The other guard is Bill Emmendorfer from Cleveland, Tennessee. Balthrop and Hill are the tackles. 2nd and 5 from their own 35. Chancey.
I believe they were going to see Penn State put Gray in the line, Chris, to give them that odd look instead of the even look. Much tougher to hit down the middle against it.
The referee, Charles Bowen, calls for a timeout because a measurement has been requested. Up there looking on for Tennessee, 64, Bill Emmendorfer. Missed it by about 6 inches, so it'll be 3rd down. 3rd down coming up with 2:15 to go in the third quarter. Tennessee leading 21-3. Penn State undefeated in 15 consecutive games. 10 victories this year. They're ranked number 5, headed to play the Texas Longhorns in the Cotton Bowl. 3rd and inches. Good call by Maxwell.
Very unspectacular plays, but awfully effective against the clock when you're leading 21-3.
Now the next snap by Tom Johnson to Maxwell will come from the 41-yard line of Tennessee. This drive started at the 20. The Sooners are leading Oklahoma State 10-0 in the first quarter as Jack Mildren on a quarterback keeper went 5 yards for the Oklahoma score. Wing and a split end formation, Tennessee. Chancey couldn't get to it. 2nd and 10.
Not a particularly good throw, and Chancey looking back into the sun.
But we've noticed Maxwell here in the third quarter is pushing the ball instead of really throwing it like he was in the first half.
When you have a 21-3 lead, Chris, and you've got somebody as wide open as Chancey was on the last play, the tendency is always to want to be so sure that you don't give it that quick, sharp delivery.
Ball control, Tennessee getting 6 first downs here in the third quarter with 1:36 to go. Chancey hit very, very hard at about the 43-yard line. Jim Lasovic, number 47, put his shoulder, and he was helped by Jim Heller. And the ball is just across the hash mark at the 43. So it'll be a 3rd down and a little less than 8. Going to the far side, we have Thaler, number 20. 2 men out here, Thompson and Love, left. Maxwell throwing deep. Joe Thompson spreading their formation. Thompson to the near side, brings it in. Duquette on the tackle, around the 10.
Let's watch Thompson on the isolated camera. This is one that Maxwell really up and fired. Here he comes down the field against Ellis, looking for the ball, and he is wide open against that 3 deep. Making the catch, Tennessee on the 13.
Oh, he threw that with all the confidence in the world. Hitting his man, Joe Thompson, the senior from Savannah, Tennessee. At the 13-yard line, 1st and 10. Fowler goes to the right, to the left. Thompson. And Chancey carries to about the 7.
Once again, the trap opens up against the even set in the middle.
Zapek, 60, and 20, Mesco. And on the tackle at the 7-yard line, a gain of 6, 2nd and 3.
And Chancey shaken up on the play.
Let's see if Selvey comes in. George Sylvie, rather, comes into the lineup. There you see Chansey.
And Maxwell very wisely, Chris, took a timeout, not wanting to risk the 5-yard penalty for a delay of the game at this point.
13 seconds remaining in the third quarter. Each week throughout the fall, watch ABC for college football. With timeout, the score: Tennessee 21, Penn State 3. Steve Chansey, removed from the Tennessee lineup, is injured at wrist, and he vows that he'll be back in the lineup. George Sylvie, 43, has taken his place as we have a 2nd and 3 at the 7 on the 11th play in this drive that began at the 20. Rudder getting near the 5, failing by nearly 2 yards for the first down, as Ellis, Gray, and Duquette on the tackle. At the end of the third quarter, here at Neyland Stadium in Knoxville, Tennessee, the score: the Volunteers 21, the Nittany Lions 3. The snap to begin the fourth and final quarter here in Knoxville, Tennessee, will be the 12th play in this drive by Tennessee that began at the Tennessee 20. A 76-yard intercepted fumble return, a 45-yard punt return, both for scores, a 15-yard drive, and that's what it's been. The Volunteers trying. Rudder to the 4. And it appears he is short of the first down. Duquette carrying on the play. Now remember, that was a third down.
If you go for it here, Chris, even if you miss it, you gain the field position, but Bill Battle putting his place kicker in the game, George Hunt, not wanting to risk the 3 points and knowing Penn State might get 3 touchdowns. His 3 points will put them 3 touchdowns ahead.
With the ball being held by Maxwell at the 11, 21 yards on a severe angle. Hunt's kick is up and good. 21-yard three-pointer for the Volunteers of Tennessee, as they now lead 24-3 with 14 minutes and 17 seconds left in the game. Tomorrow on ABC College Football 1971, we feature highlights of this season's key games. That's College Football 1971 tomorrow on ABC at 12 noon, 11 Central Time. And the host, Bill Fleming, tells me that it's a wonderful, exciting highlight show.
And time beginning to run out on Penn State. They're a great offensive football team. They've got to be able to break something for long yardage here, however, to get back in. The steady drives, the clock is likely to run out on them before they can get the points on the board.
22, Cappelletti. 23, Lydell Mitchell. 87, Ed O'Neill are deep. Hunt's kick high in the air. It'll come down near the goal line, and it's taken by Cappelletti. Out to the 10, the 15 for Penn State. Down at about the 19-yard line. Making the tackle, Danny Jeffries.
The statistics at the end of the third quarter make it look like a very even football game with Penn State slightly in charge, 261 total yards, 242. The missing statistic, the 223 yards that Tennessee has made on kick runbacks. So their total yardage actually is 465 if you include those runbacks, which have been a decisive part of this game.
14-10 remaining in the ball game. John Huffnagel of McKees Rocks, Pennsylvania, from the 19, first down. Lydell Mitchell. As Penn State has averaged 320 yards rushing per game in 10 starts this year to go undefeated. On that play, they pick up 3 yards out to the 22. There is Mitchell, shaken up on the play. Too bad. Skarzinski is out. Rickenback is in, but Mitchell remains the deep back just behind Franco Harris. 2nd and 7. Huffnagel brought down by number 82, Ken Lambert.
He's a 4.5 sprinter. He was a hurdle champion. He came in there that time without anybody touching him. He just moved right by everybody.
And it's down at the 14, a loss of 8 yards, 3rd down and 15. Penn State has rushed the ball 40 times for 131 yards. They're only scoring a 27-yard field goal by Vitiello at 8:42 of the second quarter. Franco Harris. And on the artificial turf, he slips and falls at the 18-yard line. So it'll be 4th down and 11.
Ray Nettles, the middle lineman moving out there. Nettles is a kind of a combination middle guard and linebacker with great mobility.
Limping off to the far sideline is Johnny Huffnagel, the Penn State quarterback. And now back deep is Bobby Majors, who's returned one kick for 6 points. There's Mitchell, number 23. Bobby Parsons of Penn State kicking. And in the shadows on the artificial turf, a fair catch call for by Bobby Majors at the 45. A 37-yard punt. Tennessee will have the ball at its own 45. A timeout at Neyland Stadium in Knoxville. The score, Tennessee 24, Penn State 3. 12 minutes and 16 seconds remaining here at Neyland Stadium, right by the banks of the Tennessee River. After rain, sleet, and snow yesterday, it's a 55-degree afternoon, sun shining, Tennessee leading 24-3 at the 45, their own. First down, Volunteers. Carrying on the play, Bill Rudder, the leading ground gainer. On the field is Bruce Bannon. Comes in on the tackle along with Gray.
And Gray, number 30, who usually is an inside linebacker, had moved up in the line that time to protect against the trap play that has moved the ball quite consistently for Tennessee.
Huffnagel had an injured thigh. He'll be back in the lineup, however, when Penn State gets the ball. And Mitchell had a bruise in his ankle, but he is expected to play. 2nd and 7 now. Tennessee, Maxwell, into the flat to the fullback, Rudder. Rudder spun back by Zapak and Ellis. And Gray comes in. There's Zapak, number 60, from Philadelphia.
And Rudder did a good job of staying in bounds. He didn't want to get out of bounds and kill the clock. He took a little punishment to do it.
3rd down and 6 for Tennessee. Neyland Stadium and the University of Tennessee campus. Tremendous school here in the South. And so is Penn State in the mountains, the Nittany Mountains, State College, Pennsylvania. Slot formation to the far side, 3rd and 6. Thompson and Sylvie are over there. That was Chansey, number 41. Scorpan covering for Penn State. John Harrison on an end around scored for Oklahoma as the Sooners lead Oklahoma State 17-0 in the first quarter. It'll be Oklahoma in the Sugar Bowl against Auburn right here on ABC.
Formation, Majors.
Go with a 4th down and about 3. Bobby Majors back to punt. Inside the 20 at about the 15-yard line. Wide World of Sports comes on at 5 Eastern and 4 Central Time, and in Los Angeles and San Francisco, 4:30 Pacific Time. It features Grand Prix motorcycle racing from California and World Water Skiing Championships from Spain. Don't forget the Chevrolet Offensive and Defensive Player of the Game Awards. They'll be coming up a little bit later. See if they agree with your choice. Huffnagel in at quarterback from the 14. Bob Rickenback, covered by Bobby Majors on the play. Majors is hurt. Bobby Majors on the far sideline. That was an 18-yard completion.
He closed awfully fast. Rickenback did a great job of keeping possession of the ball as he was hit.
It all started in 1869. Now each week it's college football on ABC. The score, Tennessee 24, Penn State 3. On the near sideline, Bobby Majors shake it up on the last play, getting a chance to catch his breath and get back in. He's replaced by Tim Towns, number 38. Penn State with a first down at their own 32. A marker goes down as Harris carries.
And once again, the little movement of the Penn State defensive team at the Penn State offensive line, moving. The defense is free to move. The offense has got to stay set, and it's great discipline to hold when that defense is moving against you.
George Bowen, the referee, stepping off 5 yards, and here is the signal. It is illegal motion, 5 yards. Here's the play that Bobby Majors was shaken up.
Rickenback is the receiver here. You can see him turning. Majors really closing on him, and that is some collision. Rickenback is 6'3", 229 pounds.
First and 15 from the 27. Long pass intended for number 40, Rickenback. Covering was Denny Jeffries, number 48 in the orange jersey, as Tennessee leads 24-3, 9:56 left in the game.
And all coaches would like to throw the ball when they want to instead of when they have to. And Joe Paterno of Penn State is now reduced score-wise 24-3 to a situation where he has got to throw it.
A little earlier I mentioned Penn State's rushing average, 320 yards in 10 games. Today, 131. Now, with a second and 15 at their own 27. Huffnagel. Claude Simonton, number 62, breaking through to throw Huffnagel for a tremendous loss. Simonton joined by Tom Bennett, number 86, and the loss is back to the 17-yard line. It'll be 3rd and 25.
It's a mobile, aggressive defense. That old discussion always among football people, do you take size and weight or you take speed, mobility, and agility? And if you're not giving away too much, there's just no doubt about what you ought to be doing, and that's going with speed. Football's a game of reaction, much more than a game of size and strength.
Number 44, Bobby Majors, comes back into the lineup. He's been a hero here today. 3rd and 25 from the 17, Penn State. Rickenback, the intended receiver. 4th and 25 now for the Nittany Lions. Bobby Majors covering on the play with 9 minutes and 1 second remaining in the ball game. 24-3, Tennessee leading. They led at the end of the first quarter 7-0. At halftime, 21-3, 24-3 at the end of the third quarter.
And the relentless pressure that they have put on Penn State is beginning to take its toll.
Parsons ready to punt. Majors looking at it. What a day he is having on kick returns. Look at this poise. He is to the 19 of Penn State.
It was one of those low kicks, and when I saw it take off, Chris, I said, deep trouble for Penn State.
Over 200 yards on kick returns. Bobby Majors, number 44, including a touchdown. Franco Harris makes the stop for the Nittany Lions. So just inside the 20, Maxwell, a fourth stringer when we were here earlier in the season to do the Auburn-Tennessee game, is now replaced by Dennis Chadwick, number 21. Correction, Maxwell is still in there. Let's see that kick return again.
This is a team play. Watch Majors. The coverage was certainly not down there because the click was so low, but the Tennessee blockers do just a magnificent job. Look at him pick off those white shirts. And Majors, of course, with that great poise, once he hits that lane down the sidelines, cuts back, but once again, Parsons, I believe this is, making a great tackle to save the touchdown.
2nd down and 8 now. From the 17, overthrown, Joe Thompson, number 90. There is Bobby Majors, averaging 40.5 yards on kick returns today and 1 touchdown.
That's an unbelievable statistic.
And before the game, the Majors family saluted by the University of Tennessee. They were called the first family of volunteer football. That, of course, included John, Billy, and Bobby. And, of course, their dad, Mr. Shirley Majors, coach at Sewanee College. 3rd down and 8. Frank Aaronhold, the senior from Northport, New York, comes from his defensive tackle position to throw Maxwell for a loss. loss is back to the 28-yard line, 4th down and 19.
And we have
George Hunt, who in the third quarter kicked a 21-yard field goal, his first of the afternoon in 2 attempts, is there and will probably try another. With Maxwell holding, the hash mark will be, no, it'll be right on the 35, plus the 10 of the end zone, 45 yards. Kick is up. To the left of the goalpost, no good. So it'll come out to the 20 in Penn State. With 7 minutes, 24 seconds left in the game, in order to remain undefeated, we'll really have to go to work. Immediately following our game, the Prudential College scoreboard. Bud Palmer will have an exclusive interview with Pat Sullivan, the 1971 Heisman Trophy winner, along with all the scores and highlights of today's top collegiate games. From the 20, John Huffnagel, number 16, the Penn State quarterback. Harris and Mitchell behind him. Mitchell.
Chris, you were saying Penn State will really have to go to work. They will. I can't think of a defensive team in football, though, that I would less likely be going against 3 touchdowns behind at this stage of the game, because the 4 deep for Tennessee are exceptionally proficient football players. They cover that field, just blanket it back there, and it's almost impossible to make anything go all the way.
What a game the Liberty Bowl will be here on ABC the night of December 20th, as Tennessee will go against powerful Arkansas. 2nd down and 9. Huffnagel trying to hit Cole, and he did. Gets him in bounds at about the 33. 1st and 10. There's Cole, number 48. Danny Jeffries covered him on the play.
1st and 10. At the 33.
First, we mentioned powerful Arkansas. They have a great quarterback in Joe Ferguson.
One of the better passing teams in college football, and they'll severely test this Tennessee defense that is excellent against the pass, as you can see right here.
Huffnagel intercepted, and another 6 points, Tennessee. And it was Jackie Walker, twice All-American, and what a linebacker. Walker had scored 1 other touchdown this year on a return. And boy, oh boy, when things go right, that's his 4th interception and 2nd touchdown, Bud.
But also, Chris, he was in perfect position. In the pregame show, we had some good shots of Walker doing precisely what he did there. He's a little late moving over there, and the quarterback doesn't see him, and then he's got that burst of speed to move into the lane to pick it off.
So George Hunt's extra point attempt, perfect. Timeout at Neyland Stadium in Knoxville, where the score, surprisingly, Tennessee 31, Penn State 3. Well, the Tennessee defense has scored 3 touchdowns today, helping the Volunteers to a 31-3 lead over unbeaten and 5th-ranked Penn State. 6:33 to go in the ball game. George Hunt to kick off to Penn State. Mitchell, Capoletti, and O'Neill are deep. This time, Hunt put it into the end zone. It'll be a touchback, and Penn State will try to work the ball from the 20. Let's see the Jackie Walker interception touchdown.
He's the linebacker, and watch him work to the outside late here. He'll be coming from the left of your screen. That's Skarzinski breaking down the field. And there's Walker from the top of the screen, and you can see him now as he's late moving out here, but he's got that extra burst of speed. He's right in the lane now, moving from the inside out, and he's got great speed. He took it back all the way.
So from the 20 now, Huffnagel, number 16, gives to senior Franco Harris. Rob Free on the tackle.
Penn State, Chris, has had the ball on 11 different exchanges, and the best field position that they've gotten the ball on exchange is their own 29-yard line. So in addition to the great aggressiveness and speed and mobility of the Tennessee defense, they've played almost perfect field position football.
And their deepest penetration was to the Tennessee 10 from where they kicked a 27-yard field goal at 8:42 of the second quarter. 2nd down and 7. Huffnagel. Nice catch by Bob Parsons, number 86, bringing it out, as you see, in front of the Tennessee bench and near the 40. First down for the Nittany Lions as Danny Jeffries covered defensively, joined by David Campbell of Nashville.
This pass has been open all day, and it's one of the toughest passes in football to cover. You can watch Parsons here on the crossing pattern. He swings to the left of the screen. He's going back against the flow, and you're almost certain to be open when you move that way because there's no one can drop off in front of you.
Penn State from the 38, first down. Lydell Mitchell, stopped by Mike Jones, a sophomore from Kingsport, Tennessee. 5:16 left in the game. Tennessee 31, Penn State 3. Harris has 64 yards today. Mitchell 72 yards. And with the ball at the 38, it'll be second down and 10. Skarpinski out of the lineup to the far side. Cole, 48 at the bottom of your screen. The eye in the backfield. The ends are tight. Parsons, number 86. He has 6 catches today.
Huffnagel is a real player, Chris. He was pressured about as tough as you can be on that play, and he refused to get rattled. He hit Parsons on the dead run.
Gain of 4 yards. Third down and 6 now for what has been a hapless Nittany Lion team here today. 15 games without defeat. Winning 10 straight this year. Real disappointment. Joe Paterno and his team. Complete to Skarpinski. Skarzinski gets across the 30 of Tennessee. Nick Carmichael on the tackle.
A little inside fake throws the linebacker. Skarpinski just takes it very quickly right down the middle, and he split the 2 deep men, Majors and Brown. He's got the ball now, and he almost breaks into the clear. You can see them all pursuing and making the catch from behind. Number 11, Carmichael.
A 30-yard play, and with the ball near the 28 of Tennessee, first down for Penn State. Lydell Mitchell. Mitchell to the 24. Jamie Rotella in on the tackle, number 57.
We've talked about the mobility of the Tennessee defense, Chris, and their speed, but I don't think we've talked about how they strike a blow. Believe me, they're in a hitting position, and they unleash when the ball carrier gets in their range.
Huffnagel has completed 17 of 26, 211 yards, 65% of his passes. Here's a second and 6 for John. Giving to Mitchell. What a move to the outside. Upended at about the 18 by Nick Carmichael, number 11.
Disciplined defense. Had he let him get to the outside, again, he might have taken it all away, but he turned him back in where the help comes from.
Measurement called for now inside the 20-yard line of Tennessee. Don't forget, at the end of the game, we'll present the Chevrolet Outstanding Offensive and Defensive Players of the Game. Now, the award represents a $1,000 scholarship to the school scholarship fund on behalf of the winning players. And, Bud, we've certainly seen some outstanding defensive and offensive players through the years. This is our last regularly scheduled NCAA game of the week. Of course, we'll be back on the 20th of December with the Liberty Bowl, Tennessee, Arkansas. Sugar Bowl, January 1st.
Then you got that tough trip, Chris, to Honolulu for the Hula Bowl.
It is a tough trip. First and 10. Franco Harris carrying on the play. And we know there's one coach watching with interest here, veteran Rip Engel, whom Joe Paterno was an assistant to for 16 years at Penn State. And Rip has taught him well, but today the team just is not playing up to the other 10 games this year. But they're going against a great Tennessee team.
And 3 big breaks, Chris. The punt return is a great play. The interceptions, however, are one of those things.
On a second and 6, Huffnagel hoped to hit Franco Harris. Jackie Walker, 52. Got his hands on it. Talking to Ray Nettles now, number 58, and joined by 48, Danny Jeffries.
Walker, number 52, certainly lived up to all of his advance notice here today. He's an All-American. He's small for a linebacker. He's only 200 pounds and 6 feet tall, but he's got about as much speed as anyone I've seen playing this position, and he reads very well. He slips through the blocks and then's got speed enough to move in and make the tackle, and he can deliver a bowl.
They didn't have to go far to recruit him because he's from Knoxville. Third and 6. Lydell Mitchell, a shoe top tackle And a sure one by number 11, sophomore Nick Carmichael.
And that was typical of the Tennessee defense. A tremendous rush by Lambert, a great play by Huffnagel to get it off. And then Carmichael making the tackle and Majors coming over to help on it.
I don't think I've seen as much orange since the Texas-Arkansas game, Bud, a couple of years ago, 15-14, as we've seen here today.
Well, it's a great
I'm sure they have only 11 defenders there, but it seems like a lot more.
Great defensive tradition, started by General Neyland, who perhaps gave more to defensive college football than any coach.
Well, thank heavens you and others carried on his theories, Bud. Huffnagel now on a 4th down, completing it to Lydell Mitchell. Mitchell gets the first Penn State touchdown on a 13-yard 4th down pass from John Huffnagel. So it's 31-9 with 1:31 to go in the ball game. Lydell Mitchell, a major in secondary education, has scored his 29th touchdown of the year.
Let's take a look at it again, and you can see how really this boy can move if he has any daylight at all. And Tennessee has done a tremendous job of keeping Mitchell bottled up all afternoon, where he's had no running room. The Nittany Lions ready to go for 2 points.
Going for 2 now with Huffnagel calling signals. Coming around very fast. Chuck Hurd, number 25, he gets it, making it 31-11. And seeing Mitchell today being hemmed in most of the time reminds us of Greg Pruitt on Thanksgiving Day against the tremendous Nebraska defense, Bud.
No matter how great the running backs are, Chris, with no running room, they all look alike. When you get them stretched out, however, the superior skills begin to be readily apparent.
Penn State went